You know we can't hear any music, right?
Y'all can't hear anything?
No.
I wish you fucking told me that. Damn.
I ain't want to mess up the intro.
Oh shit.
You can't mess up the intro if you ain't
y'all can hear me though, right?
Yeah.
Damn, man, hold up. Should have told me, man. Hold on.
I'm new to this.
My block to
Now,
the
there
stove,
we go.
not in
Let
the
me start
cold.
it over.
Me
Let me
and
start
West
it
like
over.
Griselda?
That's better. Much better. It's 38 special. Jadakiss. Well, actually, no, it's Griselda. You're right. My bad. It's Benny's new joint.
That's Benny.
Yeah, Benny's new joint.
Turn me up. Niggas gotta feel this. Yeah.
Now we got the music cranking.
Look, niggas ain't see what I saw. A brick turned to a pot full of gold. Over that, spent my daughter's first birthday locked in a hole. Plot full of goals, came back stronger. I'm in control. Soft white from my block to the stove, not in the cone. Me and West like Stockton Malone, Gotti Capone. Niggas dressed like they copying hoes. Poppy, come on, stop it, you know you not with the smoke. I get you low. In about a year, how niggas gonna deny me the throne? Rappers y'all comparing me to, niggas scared of me too. It make they heart beat faster, just hearing the truth. I stick my 40 out the window while I'm staring the coupe. We pull up to your front door if I'm hearing the shoot. Let's go. They say we so dope and did random actions of violence. Our neighbors in the burbs want to hand us back to the projects. They say I'm on tour while the family package the product. Everybody gon' eat and I'm standing next to that promise. Can't believe y'all when y'all talk about the guns y'all shot and all the money running to them and it's crumbs y'all got. Just let me know. Come check with me when y'all want y'all shot. It's 10 shooters in my hood for A1 y'all got. Hey look, I had to dumb it down for niggas. You gotta do that. It's like bringing down the prices. You gotta move that. I was in the feds with braids.
Just straight bars, bro.
I'm a volunteer to do you if it come to that. I fuck with smart bitches in the club. I call bitches. All these Jews got these hoes trained to thought slipping. Brought a quarter thing back. That's a small mission in the dark kitchen. All you hear is the fork clicking in the zone. Through the holes of them.
What's that?
Going down already.
Three things happen when you keep your torch, nigga. Put in work, might
I
sell
wanted
it
to
or
hear
you gon'
30
get caught
Special.
with it.
Jadakiss is part of
Quarter
the
brick,
shit.
half a brick, whole brick. Fiends still hit me when they dope sick. They cook with gas for the raw, so much glass.
All over that verses.
Kitchen looking like I broke in. Let's go.
He came ready. War ready.
Yes. Yes. All right. We gonna roll into it now. Fucking it. We'll have to finish that song at the end, at the outro. We'll pause it. Welcome to Contemporary Comrades Podcast. This your boy Heavy J. It's Corn. Say what's up, man.
What up? We're here another week, man. Another week.
And we have a special guest. We got the homie TDull in the building. Say what's up, man.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
TDull, TLP, you feel me? Now, if y'all don't know,
hold it down.
If y'all didn't check out the election stream we did, Dole hopped in for a good fucking, I don't know what, hour and a half, 2 hours at the end there.
Yeah, a couple hours, yeah.
He was there for a couple hours just chopping it up. So he's not a stranger to the comrades, but now we got him on to talk about some topics and shit. And also the homie Grizzly Adams might be popping in here a little later as well to chime in on some shit. So it's gonna be a little party tonight. You feel me?
Big fan.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Well, shit. Before we get into anything else, man, shit. Make sure y'all fucking like the video, subscribe, all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Get the merch. I got it on. Corn, you got yours on?
Facts. Mega facts. You already know.
You already know. Go cop the merch. It's in the links right there at the bottom. Shit. Yeah, man. Tonight, y'all been asking us really to talk about this jab shit again. Now, we're kind of at the point where we really just been sitting back like this, like plotting on how the fuck we're gonna make this shit. You know what I'm saying? How the fuck we're gonna make it out of this shit, basically. Because everything that's happening right now, we already told y'all was gonna happen months ago. We really didn't have to really even talk about the shit that's going on. But y'all been asking, so we're gonna talk about it basically. So we got a couple jab topics. We're gonna talk about Apple. We're gonna you know what I'm saying? Is that a dog?
This is my pup. She wants to say hello.
Hello, puppy. Yeah, we're gonna talk about we got some jab topics and talk about Apple and whoever, and we'll see what else we get into. But before we even get into that, I got a question for y'all. And Dole, I'm gonna start with you.
Let's do it.
So I saw this one of the homies posted this on Instagram. Shout out to Boda Trainer. Shout out to Form Runner. What age would you be if you didn't know what age you were, and why?
Oh,
That's what I want to know.
it's tough to put like a specific number on something like
Sure.
that.
We'll give me a range then,
I would say
like a 3 or 4 year range.
it's because it's kind of like a combination of like what your parents or the older heads in your life were like, man, you know, when they got to a certain age, they're like, man, so it's like, damn, they might have been right about certain things. But yeah, if I had to like guess, if I had no clue of concept of time and age, I would guess I 30. I'm almost 29, so I'm not far off. But like, I would just comfortably guess something like 30.
So you feel like you represent your age currently well? Then is that what you're saying? Like you don't feel like you're like an old headed trapped in a young man's body or something like that, or
Nah, I'm figuring it out. We're in that very like malleable phase where it's like, okay, you know, like I said, like some of the things the old heads used to say that didn't make sense at the time. It's like, all right, that's starting to add up a little bit, and just like little things, you start to mimic things that your parents or other older family members used to do. It's like you might even try to clown them or be like, I would never do that. But now you mess around and be like, dang, I do see similarities between, I don't know, your dad, your uncle, your grandfather, whatever it is in your life. But like you start to see those similarities. Like I would never do that as a kid. Or
okay. I see. Yeah, I feel that. So Corn, what about you? What age would you be if you didn't know what age you are, and why?
See, with me, you kind of threw me for a loop too, because I thought it was going to be something like more like, more of like, what we usually talk about. So this one kind of threw me for a loop for a little bit. Yeah, but thinking about it, I'm gonna have to go with like, I don't know, because you look back at the stories, like to go back what Dole was saying, like you go back to what the old heads, the way they were talking to us, and the way they told us how they lived their lives when we were kids, when they were younger and shit like that. Like a lot of them, they had to grow up very young, and you would think that, I mean, because especially like my grandpa's generation, they were going to work at 12 years old, full-time jobs at warehouses. You know what I mean? Like they were doing shit like that, and some of them had damn near a whole damn family at 17, 18 back in those ages and shit. So it's a very different dynamic to where we are now, but at the same time, I feel like we're all still going through the same shit. Every generation goes through the same shit at the right amount of ages. So I'm gonna have to go with obviously my age, 28, only just because I feel like everybody hits a certain point, even though it's different points in their lives, but everybody hits that certain point in this age group of like you start figuring yourself out, you start getting to know what it is you want, who you are, and it's weird because they always say once you hit like 30, like in that like area of 30, it's like you start figuring your own shit out. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what they say it's supposed to be, right? Like you kind of figure shit out in your 20s, and in 30, you should probably, I'm not saying you should be perfect and have everything figured out, but by the time you hit 30, it's like, all right, this is pretty much what I have set for the rest of my, you know what I mean? Or at least for the foreseeable amount of long-term future. Your long-term goals are either in place or not by the time you're 30. And so I think
I don't think that's the case. I think I think that you can have your long-term goals set later. I mean, maybe not set later, but yeah. Set later.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, but what I'm saying is, I think I would like to think the majority of people, they can see where their life is headed at 30. Yeah, okay. By the time you hit 30, you can pretty much see, okay, my life is either going to be headed this way or that. I mean, obviously, everybody has their own different stories. I'm not saying everything's set in stone or anything like that, but I think as a soul, I think that, you kind of figure yourself out by the time you're 30, at least what you want and who you are as a person. Because when we graduated high school, we were still dealing with the. I mean, we're dealing with the shit like we talked about last week, Jaron. We were dealing with the same shit that we didn't think we were going to be dealing with at 12 years old or 13 years old, which is the I wouldn't say the complete collapse of economy, but all this shit that the Great Reset's coming. We're not going to be able to own shit anymore. Like all that shit we didn't think was going to be happening at 12 and 13 years old. We're told own everything. We're still being told ownership, which is not a bad thing. But if they see what's coming, it's like,
the
government has forced our hands. They've controlled it. So like our souls, we feel much older than what we already are already because of look at the way life was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we were 17, 18 years old. Now we're 28, but we feel like we're fucking 40 because the whole world has completely changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would like to think 28 still. Like, I obviously I have like an old, a young old head or old young head mentality, but it's still 28, I would say.
Yeah, and I have to actually say the same because I was finna come up here and say like, yeah, I was gonna say like 35, but then I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Like, not really, not really, because I still feel like the young aspect of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still feel like I still do a lot of young shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I thought about it some more, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna say like 35, which I guess is still actually young anyway. But
facts,
especially for a dude, because like they say, dudes age like fine wine. So we could be 50 and still be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do something new, and then have a whole different fucking purpose in life and fucking rock that shit. You know what I mean? So it's I mean, not saying that chicks can't do that either, but the whole fucking, I don't know, men mature slower than women. Just put it that way. That's a fact of life. Yeah. That's all I'm trying to get at. But yeah, man, cool. I just want to open up with that, just to kind of, you know what I'm saying, break no ice here, but break the ice. And I was curious what y'all thought, because I saw it and I was like, damn, that's interesting. I was like, I immediately jumped to like, oh, I feel like I'm like 35 or some shit. But I was like, not really. Not really.
I feel 50.
I would probably say like at the most I would say like 30. At the most, because like I'd be 29 and like fucking, what is it? 2 months. So yeah, I would probably say 30.
If I'm not mistaken, we all got almost the same birthday, around the same birthday. I'm late September.
I'm December.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm mid-December.
October.
So,
oh yeah, we the fall babies.
Around the same season.
True shit.
I do think it's important to note that it seems like something around 30. I don't know if it's societal or in like in your soul, like what I'm saying, but like you feel like you put that maturity cap on, like, yeah, this how I feel, like this what I'm gonna do, like this
yeah, like
I'm committed to this.
Yeah,
like it's not like obviously it's not set in stone. Everybody changes at different times in their lives, but I feel like for the majority, at least in our society, like America, like I feel like 30 is like where it's like, all right, man, to yourself. It's either people have that talk with themselves by the time they're 30, or they don't. And if you don't have that talk with yourself by the time you're 30, it's not ever the best thing to have that conversation later on after you're 30.
Something's missing. Missing.
Right.
Because 30 is 10 years, I feel like, actually 12 years, I feel like is a good amount of time after being, home and then actually being an adult. 12 years as an adult. While it seems like it's a short amount of time to, old heads, I still feel like that's a lengthy time. I mean, think about it. 10 years ago, we just graduated, high school, damn near. So
I hate to spin off another question out of this, but
go ahead.
What do you think about folks that do get that opportunity to remove themselves from a hometown area or just hometown vibes in general? Do you think that speeds up that like mental aging process compared to someone that's only stuck to what they know? Like, I've never even thought about that, but hearing your explanation, like that's what's triggering my response.
You're asking like, does it help mature? Like, do you mature faster?
Like, yeah, like let's say if you're just comparing the 18-year-old that stays in their hometown versus the 18-year-old that picks up shop for 10 years and goes away for college, finds another job in a separate area. It doesn't even have to be totally different, but just a separate area in general. Do you think that speeds up that aging process, for lack of a better word?
I would use the same word that I use for Jaren's question, and that's circumstance. It's all about the circumstances, because you can do exactly what you said. Pick up shop, go to college for 4 years. But I know plenty of people that went to college for 4 years and still didn't mature. I know plenty of people that, when I was 19, when I was in the Army, I knew 27, 28-year-olds that weren't still fully mature. And they've been in for 10 and 12 years. So it's, it's all situational and circumstances, I think.
In that same breath, but I think I can speak for all three of us. We've seen people mature in one day for life circumstances. Like shit happens, bro. Like people change in a day based on some things that fortunate or unfortunate that they've been through. So
I know some people that they heard from their significant other, I'm pregnant. Oh, they matured hella fast.
Oh,
you ain't never lied, bro.
About a day. They matured in half a second.
I'm about to say anybody would. I feel like in that scenario, unless shit. I guess you could say unless you were planning for it, because then I feel like you would be mature enough at that point already if you're planning for it to then,
be ready for it.
But it's still like, think about like when you getting on a flight, it's like, all right, I know I got an 8 a.m. flight to whatever, even if it's like vacation or something. Something about 7:55, 7:50 when they hit you with that board, and you're like, oh shit, man, I'm going out. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, like, it's go time now. Like, I've been ready for this for 3 months, but now it's go time. So it's like, there's also levels of maturity too. You can be, I know there's levels that I'm super mature in, and there's other areas where I'm super immature in. You know what I mean? So it's all about levels as well. There's different levels of maturity in different areas you can be mature in, and because you can use the perfect thing, for example, is sports. What's the one thing Americans love most is sports and movies. So you have your egotistical star player, but when he's off the court, maybe he's mature in a different way, but maybe on court he's super immature, or maybe in the classroom he's immature but mature on the court. You know what I mean? So it's all about, it's different levels. What if they hate you for being mature? What if they want you to be that immature athlete who doesn't know no better?
Well, that's just terrible character in general. I feel like whoever's enabling that is a pretty awful person.
Well, I'm piggybacking off of that, like shut up and dribble, like stay in your lane athlete, like don't you dare talk, social issues, like that sort of thing. Different topic.
No. I'm thinking about my answer. I'm just thinking about my answer to that.
I was gonna say I think it really only matters when you're mature when you need to be. Right? Because like if there's times where you can be immature and it doesn't matter. Like you know what I'm saying? If you're playing game of 2K and you gotta fucking yell whatever the case is,
talking shit. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Talking shit or whatever. But like if you can do that and then the next day or flip that switch and then say you have a kid or whatever, flip that switch and then go play dad or something, like properly, you know what I'm saying? Then I guess like what difference does it make, right?
Facts.
What if we funnel that into what about these super young athletes, the Simone Biles and the Naomi Osaka's, who are, they're 25 and younger, and they're making these super social stances about, mental health and what it takes to be an athlete. What does that show for their like maturity level versus like the pressures of being a young athlete? Do you think?
I would say they would be maybe slightly more immature, because you got to think a lot of NBA players were young when they were athletes like that too, and you didn't really hear a lot of the same sort of things come out of them. Even WNBA players and tennis players and things like that. Like there's young NASCAR drivers, there's young superstars that get in the game young, and the game's getting younger and younger as it goes. Because for some reason, exactly. And for some reason, the longer, like that era of being in the, that era of starting out old or being in something for like 15 years, 20 years, I feel like that era is like leaving. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like there's going to be reasons, who knows what they are, to where people don't want to stay in a perfect like I feel like Tom Brady's and people like that, and you know what I'm saying, LeBron's, like I feel like there's not going to be any more of them, I would say, because like there's a mentality shift in the way that you perform your craft that I feel like is missing with a lot of the younger athletes nowadays. I can't really put my finger on what it is.
I can put my finger on it right now.
Okay, go ahead.
It's plants. It's the one thing everybody talks about when it comes to anything industry is plants. You want to know how I saw this coming? I saw this coming 15 years ago when, I hate to revert everything back to wrestling, but 15 years ago when we had John Cena. John Cena was the last of his kind. You're not going to see that A-lister. Nobody can name anybody from WWE. Your average person cannot name anyone from WWE anymore. The conglomerate of professional wrestling anymore. For the first time in half a century, no one can name a single person from that company. That's crazy.
As someone whose dad watched that and I grew up watching it, I could not tell you anyone else.
Right.
I have heard John Cena made a return, but outside of that, I'm so disconnected.
Because before John Cena, there was The Rock. Before The Rock, there was obviously you had Rock and Steve Austin. Taker, that whole Attitude Era had the
greatest of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, and then before that you had the Hulk Hogan's and like all of that stuff. And it's the same thing with football, like Jeremy, you were saying. Tom Brady. You're not gonna see another Tom Brady. Why not? Because they're starting younger, and as they're younger, they're getting more talented too. And it's a whole different field because they're given all these tools, and rightfully so. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it doesn't matter how old you are. You want to get into a career field, you should be given the right tools necessary. I feel like that's one thing that they are doing correctly, but now they're adding more unauthentic stuff into play when it comes to the entertainment industry to make it to where everything's getting flooded with bullshit. Mm-hmm. And which is why now we have this atmosphere and this environment in not just Hollywood, but in sports and in everything, in all facets of entertainment now, because it's, I mean, Dole, you might not like hearing this, but they're flooding all this shit with BLM and Antifa and you got all this representation bullshit. And no one can really say no, because you say no or you disagree or you say, not even that you disagree, you just say, hey, man, I ain't about that. They're going to chastise you. They're going to fire you. They're going to fine you. They're going to do everything they can to you. And then at the end of the day, after they get done whipping you and scolding you and get ready to hang you, you're still going to have to give them a fucking apology. You're still going to have to do a fucking walk back.
Yeah.
Very true.
We talked about that last week with the baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another example.
Going through it right now. I do want to say though, two things, because I really want to hear y'all's response. Two things with that is, I feel like the athletes mentioned vaguely as examples became pro professionals at a young age, but it was also pre-social media. What does that have to do with things? And also though, in the same breath, what about the as you said, pick your example, the person that went the long route, perfected their craft, they learned it from an older age, maybe didn't have that younger advantage. Now, those kids these days that have the younger advantage, let's pick on LeBron James' son. You know what I mean? What about someone that's that young who maybe perfects their craft on the court, the field, but can't handle like social media pressures or just that sort of aspect? Do you think that involves some sort of perfecting the craft in this day and age, being able to be an on the court, off the court athlete, or like how has that shifted?
That's actually a good question. Corn, you want to answer? Or I'll go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Honestly, I think that might have something to do with it. Honestly, I think that you have to, but I think that also goes along with just social media, the pressures of social media in general. Like people feel like they have to pretty much be who they aren't on social media just because of the pressures of social media. And these athletes that we're talking about are the people who set that standard for these other people. So like, I feel like they're obligated to be this, that, and the other on social media and advocate for these things. And then of course they have to live out these things to then be advocates for them. So like, regardless of if it's actually what they feel or not, You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they have felt it and they didn't have something to attach it to, and now all of a sudden this new term or this new whatever, or now the spotlight is on this certain thing, whatever it is, and now they're like, okay, yeah, that actually applies to me, and then it could become something that it's not, or whatever the case is. But yeah, I feel like that has a lot to do with it. Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with it. I mean, LeBron's gotten. But nowadays everybody's gotten backlash from some shit they said online at this point. Like all these fucking the majority of these celebrities, especially if you're outspoken and male, you've probably gotten some shit for what you say. And I guess, and that's not even really, you don't have to necessarily be male, because we can talk about Gina Carano and a lot of other freaking chicks.
But nowadays, social media has kind of been around for a little while. You could be old enough to be famous and have had time to fuck around and say something when you were younger, and it's still out there.
Like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart made a fucking comment, and was it 2011 that somebody tried to charge him up for?
Like, do you really think he still thinks that? Like, no, but it's out there. It's public information. Yada yada.
Right, and it was like shit didn't matter then, and then now all of a sudden you can lose your entire career over some shit that you said
growth
affected nobody.
Clearly demonstrated by that person is totally overlooked by something they said in a tweet in 2011.
Yeah.
Don't even look at the times. Like,
right,
you're totally disregarding the growth of that person and taking away the success that they've really worked their asses off for something that happened 10 years ago.
And that's the thing that they don't care about, though. You guys got to realize when you go in here and you see these Twitter warriors, man, they don't care whose life they're ruining. They straight drag people for no reason.
How long it takes to build that temple, or how long it takes to build whatever, and how quickly it can come down. Like, people forget that the building process is the beauty of it all. Like, man, we've created something here, and y'all are just trying to destroy me, or looking for an opportunity to. So it's like everyone that promotes you is also your enemy, waiting to tear you down.
Yeah, that's true shit. And
I do think, though, in that same breath, to make it more positive, though, think about some of our friends growing up. Like, you would have had, like, imagine how I always pick on LeBron James, but you know how LeBron like turns his social media off when he gets into the playoffs. If you had someone like Kobe Bryant, they would just be turned off because they're focused on their craft. Like, R.I.P. Kobe, he set the stage. I mean, you think Michael Jordan would be on Twitter? No, absolutely not, because it's taken away from his focus of the game, like that sort of thing. And so we can think of our friends growing up, like some people would be turned off, checked out, and other people couldn't get off of it, feeding off the hype. So I guess it's more about finding your motivation and things like that, and being able to handle different pressures.
And social media, I mean, we got to remember too, social media was very rampant in our tail end of high school.
It came out hot. I mean, people.
It did, yeah. It wasn't like this slow moving thing. Like, because my first thing was Zanga, and Jaren introduced me to Zanga, and then after Zanga, it was MySpace. Then after MySpace was this big old thing called fucking Facebook. So,
and if you had like an older sibling, that was more pressure to get onto those things because they were already on it. But also running it back to the original conversation, it's. If you just created something, you can't wait to tweet something. So imagine if that's your 30-year-old brain running it back at that time, like, hey man, like you're gonna be posting something here, like this can affect you. You'd never think of that before it became a thing. Like whatever I post, it would never be a thing.
And you know what the problem is now, Dole? You want to know what the problem is now? Is that the kids nowadays, it's not that they don't think like that. They can't think like that. They can't think the way we were thinking back then. And you want to know what happens when they can't think, when they can't put their real thoughts on fucking social media? They regurgitate what they see, and what they see they can put on social media without having their shit taken down for quote unquote misinformation or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point, look at the generation now that's being super involved with social media and shit like that. Well, look at what they're doing, regurgitating what they're seeing. What they're being told.
Big brother vibes heavy right there.
Very.
Yep.
And we ain't talking Jay.
What I want to say, but if it gets flagged, then okay, let me tone it down and say this. Oh, it still got flagged. Okay, let me tone it down and say this. Okay, sounds like I'm saying what you want me to say.
So, yep. Welcome to you. Welcome to YouTube.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, we've learned that the hard way.
All right, so I have one more. I have one more question. I know we got topics and shit, but I do want to ask one more. I do want to ask Dole one more question. So you touched on earlier, because me and Jared, we always have this back and me, Jared, and another one of us. We have this whole back and forth conversation. And I still disagree with him about astrology, but I want to know your opinions on astrology, because you talked about how we all three had birthdays around the same time, right? So now I wanna throw it over to you. And what are your thoughts on astrology? Do you really believe in astrology? And if you do, how heavy do you believe in it? Again, no pun intended to have you.
Now, keep in mind, before you answer this, there was an astrology cast that was done on this channel. So just keep that in mind. But go ahead.
My honest input on it all. I appreciate it. I don't find myself any sort of firm zodiac believer or anything like that. If we're honest with each other, in my mind, like, I'm not trying to persuade anyone, we know someone born in January that acts just like someone born in July. We know.
Thank you.
There's been a serial murderer in every month ever conceived by humans, like January through December, and anywhere in between that I'm missing, there's been a serial murderer. So it's simple.
There's funny people that have been born in every single month.
You know what I mean? People, they'd be like, "Oh, I'd never be compatible with them," but if you didn't know their birthday, you'd be in love with them. So it's like, hey. And so but if you get into like the astrology sign, I do think there's some sort of connection. We understand how matter works, and we're all process or carbon dust from something else. So I do think the universe recycles itself. But when it comes to like zodiac signs and things like that, I'm not the biggest buyer. So I'd love to hear more information about it, but for now, I'm not really sold on the concept. Especially
zodiac or astrology as a science and a teaching.
Astrology as a science, I think, is incredibly important. If we're only focused on what we have right here, we'll never see what's out there, and we need to continue to try and expand. Like we can't be stuck on this planet forever. So if we want to continue as a species, we need to look outward instead of inward. It's like we've understood DNA and we figured that sort of thing. And now it's time to look outward. So astrology-wise, I don't know if it should be billionaires funding the project. I'm ashamed that we got away from NASA for what it is worth in a short breath. But I think looking outward is incredibly important, whether it's mining materials or just establishing new civilizations. I think it's incredibly important. But yeah, to keep picking on zodiacs, it's a little bit irrelevant for me.
Okay, so you were corn then.
My birthday's right on like the cusp. I think it's like 2 days after the shit. So technically speaking, I'm a Libra, September 25th. So everyone's like, oh, well, you have, I forget the one that's in front of it, but everyone's like, oh, you have the tendencies of both because you're like super close. And I'm just like, man, I'm just Travis.
I know, right? I'm me and mine.
I wish I had an explanation for why I'm this crazy, but I'm just Travis, man.
I'm heavy J and I'm full on Libra. With that being said, we're gonna go to these topics.
Get in these topics, man.
But not real shit. Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that though, because I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know. I'm not saying that I base everything that I do off of a zodiac sign or a reading, right? But I know my personality, and I know that my personality is 100% Libra. Now, granted, I have, of course, other characteristics, obviously, because you have to be versatile to survive. But yeah, but I know my personality, and it's very much in like what my inner thoughts in my head and shit like that, and things I do to manifest, create, situations the way that to make them peaceful. You know what I'm saying? That's all Libra shit to me. So. Corn looking like I'm speaking a foreign language or some shit.
Nah, like I totally understand that, but in the same breath, I'm also like, how often do you have? Ooh, that was about to sound really bad. So like, if you try a new outfit on and you're like, man, this is it, but everybody outside looking like, oh man, I don't know if that fits you the way you seeing it as it fits you. If you're trying to categorize yourself like, oh yeah, I do this, I do that.
I mean, if we want to go down that road, I could pull up some Libra shit and you can tell me whether you think it's me or not.
Oh no, for sure. No, and I think we would all agree. But I feel like a lot of those things are as vaguely
So general
as they can be,
but I'm
fit everyone.
And I feel that, and I'm not just going to the fucking first zodiac symbols website and typing. I've got books on this shit. I've studied numerology as well. Like I've tied all this shit together. Like this is me we're talking about here. This ain't. But I see what you're saying.
This ain't a Google search.
Yeah, this ain't just a Google search. But
if there's one thing I will stamp 125% is Jaron does his research on anything he puts a stamp on. So if he stamped it, he looked it up more than once. So trust that.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, this ain't WebMD.
What is that? What's the other one? This WebMD. What's the shit?
I can't remember.
Usually, if I have a problem, I just go to Facebook to see what's wrong with me.
I usually go to Facebook to see what's wrong with everybody else.
Very open about those things.
All right, well, shit. Let's get into this first topic here. And by the way, for those of you who are curious, Grizzly said he'd be on in about 10 minutes. So it's not to really get lit in here. Just letting y'all know. But let me be the bad podcaster I am and forgot to share my screen again. So let me go ahead and do this real quick. And we're going to talk about booster jabs. Yes. We mentioned this topic to you all, or this concept as it was at the time. What was that, Corn? February, March?
Which one?
Yeah, if not February.
If not, yeah, probably February. Yeah. I told you so moment here. We pretty much told you guys what was going to happen, right? So now it's CNN official. So the FDA could launch will lay out a national strategy for Itis booster jabs in early September. Let's listen to everybody's favorite scientist talk about
it. Everybody's favorite.
And joining me now, the president's chief medical advisor on the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Dr. Fauci, thanks so much for joining us. I want to start with this new reporting from Reuters today that Israel, the government of Israel, is beginning to administer Pfizer boosters, third shots, to people that they consider vulnerable. Here in the United States, the FDA and the CDC say that we do not need booster shots. Do you think boosters could theoretically help vulnerable people?
Well, certainly they theoretically could. What the CDC and the FDA was saying, Jake, is that right now, given the data and the information we have, we do not need to give people a third shot, a boost, superimposed upon the 2 doses you get with the mRNA and the 1 dose you get with J&J. But that doesn't mean we stop there. They continue. I mean, there are studies being done now, ongoing as we speak, about looking at the feasibility about if and when we should be boosting people. So this isn't something that we say, no, we don't need a boost right now. The story's ended forever. No, there's a lot of work going on to examine this in real time to see if we might need.
So is he saying yes or no? Because he started off by saying that. I mean, I'm genuinely asking you guys if you can decipher that, because
it sounded like he said no at first.
He said no at first, and then he's going into like reasons why you should. So what again?
I think he's just explaining that it's an open-ended thing with more studies. Like it like, let's say this was, years down the line, and they can, fast forward that process in the lab. Like maybe in 5 years you might need a booster. Maybe is what he's getting at. But for now, it seems like he's convinced that the 1 dose or the 2 dose is safe for like a as is.
But he said it himself, and we posted it on the Comrades IG a few days ago. Israel's already administering a third, which I assume would be different. I haven't actually looked in to see how different it actually is from the other 2, but that would to me mean that they've done and redone some re-engineering, right? Or based on, I guess, the data that they've got now.
Yeah, I would just want to know, is it the exact same vaccination that we've received in the United States, or is this something that, their researchers have seen creates a significant bonus in doing so, or is this like speculation? I'm not sure how Israel is with like how forceful it can be with like what they mandate government wise. You know what I mean? Like if the United States,
They're a little more strict than the United States.
like I don't know if that's the same in Israel.
Yeah, they're a little more strict than the United States. I mean, sorry, a little more strict than Israel.
From what I understand, yeah. And so I don't know if it's like government mandate, everyone has to have it, and then in doing so, you can easily slip in a third, whatever.
I can't remember if I saw something that said it was or not, but there's only a few. Last time I looked, there was only like 4 or 5 countries who actually like countrywide mandated a COVID vaccine. I'm not, and it was like ones that you wouldn't even even really guess. But I think Israel's in that same kind of area where like you have to have it to do 1,000 things, but they're not mandating it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're just
similar
kicking you out of society if you don't get it, basically. So that's a mandate without a mandate, right? That's the best they can do.
Just curious, just to know everyone's standpoint, have y'all received any sort of vaccination, or y'all just waiting out for now? No wrong answer, obviously.
I don't know if you guys heard that storm just now. By the way, it's storming really bad here, but yeah, it's loud as fuck. But no, I have not, and I won't.
Okay, no worries. I just wanted to make sure like everyone knew each other's like status based on that.
All right.
No, you're good.
Jay, what about you?
Oh no and no.
No, okay. I did. I got the Pfizer one. I did. I have been fully vaccinated since sometime in May. I don't remember the exact date.
Did you get sick after your second shot?
Yeah.
Don't worry. I asked Isom the second.
No, for sure.
Last week.
The first dose, shoulder was kind of sore, typical. I felt just more like tired, just a little drained, like if you work like 2 or 3 hard days at work, like that, like damn, like I'm just kind of tired. Nothing crazy. I didn't feel sick or anything like that. Second dose though, I was like, all right, like that one's a little bit tougher, you know what I mean? Obviously it's when you get a shot like in the same spot, it's like damn, I swear they hit the exact same spot, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
arm was sore. It kind of felt like a strong hangover, but it wasn't anything crazy. My girlfriend also got the same one. We were like 2 weeks apart though. She had tested positive for COVID back when it was a thing. I did not ever during that process. But the first dose for her was the more rough one. And the second one still got her, but that first one caught her off guard. And through further research, we saw like most people who had tested positive at some point did get more of an adverse effect on the first dose compared to the second dose.
Okay.
I can't complain. I felt like my body handled it pretty well for what it was. I did it. I wanted to be able to travel. I wanted to be able to continue to work, whatever. Like, I'm not super opposed to it, but I totally understand people's reasons for not wanting to do so.
So another question.
Yeah.
If they didn't put those mandates on for traveling, and if they didn't put those mandates on to go to sporting events and stuff like that, would you have still gotten it?
I held out for a while, a couple of months. I wasn't sold on it. The one thing I trust is that there's very intelligent people working on it. Like these people that are in the laboratories, like I understand if that's your 100% focus, I get it. We can go down the channels of why I would mistrust it, but I trust it for the most part. It's just one of those things. I didn't want to not be able to see my family. I didn't want to not be able to travel. And so if this is what it takes, if this was going to be a one-shot deal, okay, let's just do it. Whether it's like this continuation process, which, I understood this might be like a flu shot kind of thing. Every year you need maybe a booster or something like that. I wasn't, it didn't seem alien to me. However, it was just one of those things. I'd rather just go ahead and do it rather than keep fighting with it later.
Well, what if they start requiring you to take the booster? Would you still then take it? I mean, my only question is basically what I'm trying to get at is if they keep laying out more and more of these vaccines and saying, "Oh, you got to take number 3. Oh, you got to take number 4,"
Yeah.
and you have to take this shit in order to travel. You have to take this shit in order to even buy groceries and shit. Are you willing to do that?
I'd have to say, with my personality, I would draw the line somewhere, probably sooner than later. However, I don't think it would get to any sort of travel status to get to like a, third booster or what have you. I don't think it would get to that far. But I do think that boosters are going to be like a thing. I don't think like a travel imposition is going to be in place, but I do think like, yeah, you might need this or might need that. But to just do your average traveling, like don't get me wrong, my passport's not stamped up, but like I like to travel, and so I just want to keep that opportunity open.
Yeah, I'm sure along with other people that haven't gotten it, and I've decided not to get it. Like I'm in that same position too. It's like, dude, there has to come a point in time, and this isn't to combat like your decision or anything. I'm just saying this is
never combat.
But it's like I feel like the one time I'm able, like I'm starting to like gain my footing in life at like being an adult. Like I'm starting to make responsible decisions and shit like that. I'm like, you know what? I might be able 6 months down the road save enough money where I can go and just go on a vacation for a week or something, just go wherever the fuck, right? But now here comes that hurdle, right? Here comes that fucking barrier, right? And it's like, damn, do I sacrifice my morals? And again, I'm not talking about anybody that has already gotten or anything like that. I'm just saying me personally, like, do I sacrifice my morals of trying to trust into a system that has always, I won't say always, but has been proven to be broken for so long anyways, that has proven to lie to us time and time again just to get their agenda done. You know what I mean? So it's like, of course I want to go to these concerts. Of course I want to fucking travel. Of course I want to do things in life. Like I moved down here for a whole career that I'm debating whether I could even do at this point because of the fucking vaccine. So it's like, fam, at the end of the day, I just gotta stick by my morals, and it's I respect guys like y'all, the ones that have gotten it because of different, because there's some people that super gun-ho about it, because when I talk to you, or when me and Dre, when we talked to you and when we talked to Grizzly last week, it's pretty much the same. It's like, look, I held out as long as I could, but I got it because of X, Y, and Z, because this is what I have to do. Like Grizzly's got a fam, you got a girl, like there's things
I
you
was
have
the
to,
last
there's
one in
things
my
you-
job to get it. Not bragging,
Yeah,
but just saying.
Yeah, but so like I respect that. I get it, and it's like, when the shit first went down, I was like, man, I'm gonna hold on. But it's like, you know what, man? At the end of the day, the way I think, and like I obviously, like, me and Jerry talk about it all the time, like of what we think is gonna happen, of what's going to be the future of humanity in 5 or 10 years. Jaren says what? You say what, 15, 20, something like that?
No,
Right?
it's gonna be quicker than that.
Yeah, but I mean, you said before 2030. So
Yeah.
but me, I think it's happening. I think way before 2030. I think 2025 we're gonna see drastic fucking change between 2025 and 2021. Just
It's a multifaceted thing. So they've got to crash the dollar first. They've got to get this new financial system in place first.
Let's welcome this bum on the channel right here that infiltrated our video, though. I see you looking with your looking ass.
Shout out to Chris.
Hey,
What's
fuck you,
good,
nigga.
Chris?
what up, Grizzly?
What's
Hey,
good
what's
with you?
good?
Good to see you,
Shit,
fam.
on my way home, man.
Man, you wasn't playing. You jumped right in. You jumped right in the stream. You said 10,
what?
10 whenever the hell it's on.
Bro, so listen, I was closing, son. I was done at 10 o'clock. We closed at 10 o'clock. This nigga gonna come back talking about, hey, yo, we got 2 new tables. I was like, yo, fuck you.
Hey, sound like y'all got 2 new
I got
tables.
shit to do.
Fuck out of here.
Two
Hey, I
new
know.
games.
I know Isom got a kid now. He ain't never been on time. This shit is
Oh man, that's
bad boy.
fun. So yeah, I didn't really want to play too much more of that video of Dr. Fauci. I just want to kind of set the mood, if you will. But yeah, like as far as the boosters go and all that kind of stuff, to me it's kind of like, you know, I don't really think that it's I don't really think that it's going to do what they're going to try to get to do, because the fact of the matter is the way the mRNA technology works, and yes, it is technology. The virus has taken on this natural resistance turn, right? Because as I said, I guess 2 or 3 casts ago, they mutate because just like everything else, they have to survive.
Right.
So we're going to be chasing what I see happening is we're going to end up chasing this now naturally, evolving and mutating virus with essentially gene therapy, which is not natural in its inherence, and especially what it does in regards to the cells of the body and how it trains your immune system to I guess establish a relationship with what it thinks is COVID and what it does to fight that off, or whatever the case. We've got now coming out of Israel, they've got a lot of odd news. Now we're seeing that, I don't know if you guys probably both saw that on IG. Now they're saying that we got Israeli doctors coming out and saying that 85 to 90% of new cases are people who've already had some sort of vaccine. And they didn't mention any whether it was Pfizer, excuse me, Moderna, or whatever the case. Now, I'm the only one in my family who doesn't have the thing. And they all know my thoughts on it. They all know I've told them everything that I say on this fucking podcast. And literally everything. No, and at the end of the day, like we always say, you do what you got to do. You do what you want to do. I'm not mad at nobody for doing whatever the fuck they got to do or whatever they want to do. Right? That's the beautiful thing. I like freedoms. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of the motherfuckers that feel like, oh, if you don't have it, then or if you took it, then you're part of this, and you know what I'm saying, you should be banned from this if you don't have this. And I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm not. If you're
but look at what some of these vaccinated people are saying, like that video I did the other day. Old dude saying that they shouldn't be allowed to. I'm like, fam, what?
Bro, they're going so far as to calling people who don't have this thing domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
What happens when families start becoming divided? Even like obviously the past year and a half has been stressful in families, and like you see a strong stance here or there. Like what happens when I'll pick on my family? We have my niece is roughly 2 years old now. What happens when there's like a division where certain family members want to visit, but other families or family members are really stuck on a vaccination status? And like, what happens? What happens? What happens, Jaron and Corn? Just because, what happens when? Hopefully, it never happens. But like your cousin's like, yeah, you can't come over for Christmas. You know what I mean? Some random thing like that. Like, obviously, I know y'all, and I'd be like, well, y'all be like, well, fuck them. But I know it would still do something to y'all. It would still do, like, you know what I mean? Like, damn, like, we family. You know what I mean? Like.
I said fuck them before COVID even happened. No, I'm just kidding.
No, Hey, we just met though. We don't even know each other.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, that's a tough one because I know my plan. I don't really know if I really want to say it out loud, but
you don't have to.
I'll say a little bit. Like, what I'm gonna do last minute, like, is just tell them I got it. If it's that serious, it's either gonna be like, all right, fuck y'all, and I just stay in my own space, whatever. Or, obviously, if it's, I haven't really, I mean, to be honest, not to get too personal, but to be honest, I haven't really had that conversation with anyone in my family yet. I know some people in my family that have it, There's some people in my family, and I'm talking just my immediate family. But there's some people in my immediate family that I know have it, and there's others that I don't know whether they have it or not. But I also, at this point right now, just because I'm like 1,000 miles away, I don't really care. But once it gets to that point where it's like, okay, maybe I want to come back to Virginia for a day, for a few days and visit, and then the question comes up, hey, did you get your vaccine? I'm hoping, and again, you guys, I feel like at least, I assume, Jaren, you at least know how I am in situations like in dire situations like that. Though I don't know, you might, but like,
I do.
If it gets to that point where it's like my family is literally questioning me, like, hey, did you get your vaccine? You can't come over, like, nigga, I like to me in the back of my head. Also, I'm not saying this to my dad or anything, but in the back of my head, I'm like, nigga, I wish you would tell me I can't come over just because I didn't get a fucking vaccine. Are you kidding me?
Right.
You mean to tell me you get like hours? Me personally, I'm not gonna cast someone out. I'm not gonna say, hey, you have it or you don't have it, so you can't come into my home. Like, fan, if you minds, you might, like, if it's me and mines, it's me and mines. You know what I'm saying? But again, we're talking about family, so everybody has different opinions and different. And me personally, I just don't know the different opinions. I don't know everyone's opinions in my immediate family for me to even be concerned about it. But I do. I that's a good question that you asked, though, because now it does put me in that perspective of like, damn, I'm thinking about coming home, in a couple months and just seeing the family, whatever, and just saying what's up. Are they going to question me? Now I'm thinking like, damn.
Right. It's
that's
like
something I am going to have to think about.
It never happens for anyone's family, but I'm sure in the extreme case, like that will happen. And
you know what? I've heard people. It's funny you say that because I've heard people, and I've even, one of my friends from college I was hanging out with last week, and he was saying that his family was questioning him, how come he didn't get it yet? They weren't gonna come, and like he was like, I could finally go visit my family. I'm like, well, why couldn't you? I always say this all the time. I'm like, well, why couldn't you visit them before? And not to be like, not to scold them, not to verbally scold them or anything, but it's just like, if you really don't like think about it. I'm not saying be reckless or anything like that, what they're trying to spin in the media and shit. But if you just really don't think about it and you go see, like, I feel like you would be okay. But again, that's just me. I'm no scientist or nothing like that. I'm just saying that's just me. Like, nothing's going to stop. If I truly love somebody, nothing's going to stop me from seeing them. That's just me.
Right. I feel that. And my answer to that would be, Dole, I think it's going to wreck a lot of families, man, because there's going to be people who are going to take that over everything, or use it as an excuse to not see family members that they don't want to see. So then they'll impose some shit like that. But again, I think
ones that disagree with the vaccine shit.
Yeah,
easy for them to say no.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think family should trump all that bullshit anyway. Like you said, Corn, because at the end of the day, you only get one family, I guess, in this incarnation. So, or in this life, or whatever you want to call it. So
that's bullshit too. You can make your own family.
I mean, that's true, but if we're talking about family in the sense of you wanting to be around each other for holidays, like we were talking about, then I would say you only get one of the. Well, I guess you could get more than one of them, but we only get one blood family. Put it that way.
True.
But that's a good point. But if you're gonna essentially throw that away over, it was essentially propagandized, weaponized, coercion to do something.
Or just lump it into like a paranoia category. Like,
right.
It really is tough. And going into the holiday season, I'm nervous about it. I don't want to see something that's happened for people's entire lifetimes be disrupted based on something as simple as, red pill, blue pill, yes, no, what have you. Like, it's all personal choice, but I don't want things to get disrupted by that. Like, I would hate to see families get polarized in that fashion.
Yeah.
I saw, last year, I'm sure we all pretty much saw a lot of people's families get torn apart just because of the issue of race in America. That whole topic, so, I mean, that on top of COVID, on top of political shit, on top of should we have guns and shit, now on top of the abortion, like, it's always something that's going to try and tear people apart. That's what Big Brother corrupt. And again, not to sound tinfoil, but that's what we talk about on here, man. Like Big Brother government is doing this shit on purpose. They're implementing this shit. And I'm not talking about COVID or other stuff, but I'm talking about just all the shit we're seeing dividing people right now, including COVID,
Yes.
has been put in place.
I
by
got a
Big Brother
question for y'all. This is my one question I had saved up for the team. Now Itis's here, we good. One thing that's always bothered me since I've heard it for the first time is here in the United States of America, as we know it, they want to throw the phrase, "We're all in this together," down our throats. And if anybody present, listening, what have you, can tell me one day where the United States of America has been all in this together, really speaking, I'd love to hear it. But it's like it's a country so free, but established on such terrible principles. When will we ever all in this together?
Oh, dude, don't you know Blackout Tuesday last year when Nike tweeted out Blackout Tuesday?
That one day, on Instagram.
Yeah, that one day.
Not even then. It was probably some bigot somewhere posted all white screen.
We live in a capitalist society. Ain't nobody all in nothing together in a capitalist society. I mean, that's just
Facts.
Principle.
Facts.
Like you're all in it together in your same economic status. You know what I'm saying? Like,
not even then. You can disprove that argument with just saying Black Lives Matter and then wait for somebody to respond and say all lives matter. And that just shows you that we aren't in this together.
But you want everyone to be on the same page when it comes to something new, when all of these other unturned stones are still eating away at us. It's like, man, you want us to come together for this shit?
Fact. Right. But my thing is with that Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter stuff, like that's two sides of the same coin. The same coin being a division tactic. You got the side that thinks this way, and you got the side that thinks this way, essentially. Like so you're going to get that. You're going to get this because that's by design.
Yeah.
Like,
oh no. Yeah.
Like they're fucking. Yeah. But that's true. But no. But I'm saying economics as far as like, look, if you make $50,000 a year, you make $50,000 a year.
Where do you live though?
If you make $50,000 a year and you live, wait, what'd you say, Dole?
I said, where do you live though? It makes a big difference.
That's true. But hear me out on that though. So say you make $50,000 a year and you live in, let's say a rural area in the South.
Okay.
So you got, that's a decent amount of money in a rural area in the South, right?
Yeah.
And keep in mind, $50,000 a year is not shit. In the grand scheme of economic status, as far as the way the government sees it, that's not shit.
Pennies.
You're still poor. $50,000 a year, you're poor.
Pennies.
$100,000 a year, you're still technically poor, but you're just not that poor.
$100,000, I would say you've made a ripple. Someone notices you.
But here's the thing: you're not middle class. Don't even start until $100,000. Really?
Especially in my area in Northern Virginia, $100,000 will get you average, basic middle class, basic middle class.
But I'm saying literally the middle class is about $100,000 to $4 million per year.
Oh yeah, once you get into the super rich, yeah.
But I'm saying when you start to impose, here's my thing with that. When you've got things that are meant to, I guess, erode that's a big chunk of people. That's the chunk of people that pretty much hold the majority of their shit together. They're paying the majority of the taxes because when you're above that, you have numerous tax loopholes.
Yeah.
And when you're below that, you pretty much have to rely on the resources of the people who are paying that shit. So when we're all in this together thing, I think that's where that comes from. I think that's where they went wrong. Where they should mean is that you're all in this together with a little star beside it, meaning if you are this or this. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying America's never been one. It's never been conjoined. It's only been conjoined at the power level. The power.
They got the asterisk, and then at the end of the commercial when they speak super fast, I'm like subject to. It's like,
we're all in this together. And then that. Yeah.
All right.
Literally.
This offer cannot be combined with.
But then and I think that we've only been all together from a powers that be structure, and I think that ended when Trump got elected. Because when he got elected, he shook up fucking everything. He shook up
Everything.
all the plans, bruh. Shook up
Everything.
He gave too many niggas too much money. That's what he did. And you know what happened?
Thank you.
That's some good
Thank
as
you.
That's some good as fuck.
Thank you. Got me a couple bags off that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you made a song about it, right?
Yeah, fact.
Well,
Shit.
actually, you looking like a light-skinned Rick Ross right now.
Your mama, bitch.
You do. I went, that was this. Look at you. Look. He look like Brenzel.
Somebody commented on my SoundCloud said I sounded like Rick Ross and T Grizzly. I was mad.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wait till you start singing like Rod Wave.
Never. I hate that. You know I hate that nigga. Man. He trash.
Oh man.
I hate all them whining ass singing rapping niggas. Except for Drake. Drake is the original. He did it first. He do it the best. Everybody else,
singing and rapping,
nigga. Yeah.
They damn
Who started singing and rapping on the same tracks before?
I'm pretty
Drake?
sure some nigga did that shit in the 80s, bro.
So he wasn't good at it.
He wasn't good at it.
No, you got a dog.
It's my girl's dog. She's the best. Little pit bull.
I'm about to say, you look like a pit.
Damn, my girl got a pit too.
This is Letta. She's a sweet girl.
Yeah, I like pit bulls. They're cool. They're calm. I feel like you really gotta have a pit bull's mind. You know what I'm saying? To really understand a pit bull.
Nah, yeah, I feel that.
You know what I mean?
I feel like the older I get,
You
the
spend a lot of
less
time with them.
I want a pet. Like I still love dogs, and I still don't really fuck with cats. But like I just don't want a pet anymore. Like I gotta take care of a cat. I ain't trying to take care of no fucking pet.
It's a lot to keep up with, really, honestly.
Yeah.
Even y'all remember my my two cats? They live with my mom now. They got a whole little house set up. Boy, they way happier now. They live with my mom now. But yeah, man, even just having a cat, like that's something to keep up with. I was like, man, I got a cat. I don't got to do nothing.
Shit.
You got to do a little bit less for sure.
Yeah.
Man, I used to have pets when I was a kid, man, but I haven't. I'll be like, man, I work too damn much. I got too much damn shit to do.
Exactly.
Hey, say what you want. My favorite pets I ever had were hermit crabs, bro. They were so easy. Like you could take them out, play with them at will. Like they took nothing to take care of them. Like
hermit crabs was easy as shit.
They don't smell like nothing. They stay in a little cage. You can keep them wherever. Like seriously, they're super cool. You can change their shells and stuff. All that super dope.
Yeah.
Anyone listening that has a young child, get him a hermit crab. It's a fun experiment.
That's a good idea.
And don't tell Peter, because Peter's trying to get rid of people's pets.
Like what's my
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they don't want. They're saying that. What's the phrase? Like, dead's better than fed or something like that. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, see, part of
You'll nothing and you'll be happy.
Part of that growing and maturing thing we were talking about is me not commenting when I don't have anything nice to say.
Oh no! That's what this platform is for.
This podcast is.
You say nothing but not nice things.
I wish them niggas would come knock on my door and talk about you gotta get rid of your pets. So nigga,
right. Goddamn.
I'll get rid of my guns before I get rid of my pets.
Man.
You say get rid of your what?
I get rid of my guns before I get rid of my pets.
Oh wow.
Damn, that's a bold statement.
That's deep. Pause.
I don't think any.
Let me check my location on my phone.
I don't think
in America, right?
I don't think anybody needs a gun, a semi-automatic or fully automatic. Nobody needs that. Nobody.
Here's my thing. Either you get rid of them from everybody, or you give everybody guns. When you start fucking picking and choosing, that's when you get the fucked up shit.
Oh, my turn, please. Two things. I had to interject. Number one, Jaron, we live in the United States of America. It's just like paying taxes. We assume everyone does it, but some of people are really good at not doing so. So if everyone says they laid them all down, you know the real smart motherfuckers got something buried. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, people are good at that. It's Abel and Cain, bro. You can't trust nobody.
And look, if you got a gun, 5 years ago in any state other than California and New York, like, there's really no paper trail for that shit. Like, to be honest, like,
bro, I'm saying,
you know,
hey, y'all know where we from? We can go get a gun in an hour.
Yeah, minutes.
Go down to Expo real quick. I get a gun in that hour. No paperwork. Show you my ID.
Well, you gotta have you gotta have more than that now, at least here.
Barely. Cash money do a whole lot of paperwork for you.
Facts.
Yeah, if you know somebody, I guess it is what it is, right? But that's
I wish it wasn't.
Nigga, you could go to Expo Land at the gun show with just straight cash. If you got enough cash, them niggas gonna give you a gun.
What?
That's a fact.
No questions asked.
None.
What? I mean, maybe if you got brown skin or something, they might raise an eyebrow. But someone like me walk in there, I can have whatever I wanted. Cash? Hell yeah.
He said brown skin.
Which one?
You damn straight.
Man.
Damn, I love my fucking food at work.
But so as a person, to piggyback on what Itis said, as a person, this is just as opening something new. As a person, I'm not big on like gun advocacy, what have you. Like, we've lost some friends to that. Like, it's just not a big part of me. I don't really care for it. It's not my thing. It doesn't excite me. However, I look at guns as something like a fire extinguisher. It's something you never plan to use, but you'd be a fool to not have one.
Yeah.
What are y'all's comments, concerns?
That's the way I've been the whole time. Is that, you know, obviously I was in the military, so I obviously dealt with guns and shit like that. So like once I got out, I was like, you know, I'm good. You know, I just shot guns for the past 4 years. I don't really. But then as you start learning, and you start maturing more, and you start being more aware, and then you move to Florida, and then so then you start realizing, oh yeah, I should probably be strapped. So stay tuned. I'll probably be telling y'all that I'll be getting strapped here soon. Trust me. But you know, you said it perfectly though. It's that's the same way I feel. It's like, I'm not gonna be walking around. You're not gonna see an NRA sticker on the back of my fucking car. But
anyway, but yeah.
But you know, I do support. You know, I am a supporter of firearms. I think, you know, I come from two parents who are supporters of firearms. So I mean, that's just the way I grew up anyway. So yeah.
NRA headquarters right up here in Northern Virginia. I think maybe it's technically in Manassas. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, it's right up here, the big building.
I'm probably the only person in this podcast that doesn't support gun rights.
Why not?
It's one of them things. It's just like I hate them, but I
get that. I get the little saying that like guns don't kill people, people do, but at the same time, nobody, like, you don't need a handgun. Like, the only gun you should really be able to have is like a shotgun or like a hunting rifle, and that's it, nigga. If you got beef, but me, period, you shouldn't have any guns at all, bro. Like, it's just dumb. Niggas get killed every day behind a gun, so like, just take them all. And if you got one, make the punishment serious enough to where you don't even want to keep your gun. You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna do like 15 years we catch you with a gun? Oh, no, I'm giving my shit up for a gun. Fuck that. But
if I may, though, real quick, we know like rifles we understand are acceptable, shotguns, whatever. They're more of a game use, but we would be foolish not to understand the fact that something like a handgun was specifically invented and designed to kill humans.
No, absolutely.
More. And so, like, let's swallow that pill and just understand that, address the elephant in the room. So why shouldn't there be a heavy penalty on holding something that's designed to kill a human? Like,
I don't even have an issue with murder. Like, my issue is it's sloppy and it's reckless. Like, little kids get shot in drive-bys or accidental ricochets or whatever, nigga. If you want to kill me, bro, pick up a sword and shield and let's get it. Like, get some nunchucks or whatever, nigga. Meet me in the streets.
But
you need to speak.
how many of those people that are doing those drive-bys are those guns legal when it comes to gun rights, right?
Listen,
Because
I
gun
mean,
rights is about legal
Barely
guns.
ever.
Gun
you
rights
should
is about legally carrying, and we have to legally carry because there's people out here being, like you said, reckless, shooting innocent people with unregistered
Would
guns.
it be a
And I
circumstance
understand
where
that, but
legalizing it would make it easier and make
You
it
say that again?
safer? Actually, like if it was just totally legal, would it make it safer?
for
Yeah, I
everybody to
think
just
so.
have a gun, yeah, probably.
And if everybody didn't have a gun, you would assume it's like Texas. You would assume everybody has a gun
Yeah,
because it's so legal.
You'd be
Right.
foolish not to think that everyone in Texas has a gun. Like shit, I don't care where you are. Like I'm gonna assume everybody got theirs ready.
Right. Here's the thing, though. we're in a country that was founded by blood. We're in we're in we're in an evolution of war-centered domination and control and killings of human beings. Guns are just the modern equivalent of a fucking sword or a fucking nunchuck or a throwing star or whatever the fuck.
you're
Like,
right
oh,
about
that's
that.
old technology. Like, to not have a gun, to say that we shouldn't have a gun in a modern age like this is to say that you shouldn't have a sword back in fucking 1306. You know what I'm saying? It's like that was your tool to do XYZ, what you had to do in that situation. Now, granted, we're way farther ahead, in civilization, and we're not necessarily conquering like that. Well, actually, we are conquering, but that's a different story. We're conquering in other countries with guns, right? And at some point, this country was conquered with muskets or swords or whatever the fuck the case was. You know what I mean? Like the technology was greater than whoever the hell had the technology that was on this land. And we can argue if it was black people, if it was Indians, whatever. What I'm saying? I'm not getting into that rabbit hole, but whoever the fuck was here got conquered. They didn't have the technology that the conquerors had, because otherwise the conquerors wouldn't have conquered.
I would pitch the book if anyone's never heard of it. It's called Guns, Germs, and Steel. It's by last name Diamond, John James, something like that. Check that out if anyone's interested. It basically touches on that. It's like how technology kind of won the world because you show up with these higher power weapons. You bring diseases and things from your land, and then it's fairly easy to fall in place after that.
Yeah, I mean,
like what part of it is just like a technological dominance rather than just a slaughterhouse mechanism?
Basically, like who evolves faster wins more.
And
like,
when did colonization stop?
I don't think it has.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's
just in different
to keep that hegemony going. It's to keep the United States. They've never ever backed down from their like war presence. Like their biggest thing in the United States is the military, and it always has been. And when it comes to like colonization, that's the front runner. Like that is the arrow tip.
And
go ahead, Colin.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that that's true, but we don't colonize necessarily to take people and put them in a different place anymore. We colonize to take resources, and we colonize to take basically resources at this point. Just like all the shit in the Middle East, it's all resource based. All the shit China's doing in Africa, like taking getting in native tribes in Africa and becoming kings of the tribes and shit like that. Chinese men. That's conquering. That is taking over the very root of the people there, so that you can get in good graces, so that you can get the resources.
If I can interject, I think that's already been done. I think at this point where we've conquered those resources, now we're trying to interject democracy and
there's way more resources they need, bro.
Christianity and things like that. I think we're trying to overrun governments and police forces and military task forces and things, because we've already kind of stripped the resources that we've needed. Like we've established those ports.
No, we haven't.
You don't think so?
We going all electric, bro. We need more. We need lithium.
When it comes to like adapting like new energy sources, of course, I'm just talking about like in the presence of we found the diamonds, we found the coal, we found the oil, like we found that. Now where we're going in and we disrupted those places to conquer those products and those resources. now we're establishing our version of government, police force, democracy, what have you, name it what you want. And so now it's like a double conquering.
Yeah, why do you think we're withdrawing from Iraq and Afghanistan right now? The Taliban's back in control. It's all good.
And we've done our part, if you will.
You know what I mean? You overthrew the one leader who actually had the place under some sort of anyway. But again, terrorism. If you just throw that T word on anything and anybody, then anything goes. Doesn't matter. I'm not saying that these people were good people. I'm just saying that the the acts in which were put upon them were not necessarily completely just, to put it that way. And I'm not going down the war rabbit hole because that's.
Right. I live on a Marine Corps base up here in Quantico, so it's one of those things. It's a very unique experience, and you can definitely tell more excited points versus more relaxed points.
Oh yeah,
Corn, you can speak on it. You've been military base. It be a little tense sometimes.
Yeah, so, I was on gate guard duty for a year, so yeah.
Where were you other than Fayetteville? What Fort Bragg down Fayetteville? You just stayed there?
I was just at Fort Bragg for 4 years.
Oh, man, they did you like that, bro? They didn't even send you.
I was in an EOD unit, so it was gravy.
Man, they kept you in one place. Some people would pray for that, and then other people would be like, "Man, get me out of here."
Yeah. I mean, I forgot what I was gonna say earlier. But I will say this just to hone back in on the gun talk. So Iceland, or Grizzly, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I have.
Okay, can we say Iceland? I don't know. But so over in the UK, they did exactly what you're talking about, right? They said, hey, no more guns. They stripped everybody, every legal person of their legal firearms. Jaron, what happened 4 months ago, or if even that, when that BLM leader over there got shot in the head, or was it Antifa, one of them two? Over there in the UK.
Oh yeah, where there's no guns. Yeah, where nobody's allowed to have guns there. You can't even have a knife in London. Yeah,
and she was shot in the head. So that tells you right there that it's the wrong people are still going to have the guns if they do that.
Yeah,
it's always going to be the wrong people. The wrong people are always going to have the guns because it's already infiltrated humanity at this point, the whole world at this point.
Well, what makes Australia different? Australia banned their guns, and they ain't had no problem since.
Yeah,
they just got wild ass fucking animals.
They just had a mass shooting a year ago.
Seriously?
Yeah.
But was it someone that lived there, stayed there? Like, was this like a? But I would still consider that like an act of terrorism if you imported all of these, bad products. I don't know, lack of a better word. Like if you imported all these guns and you did this as like a mass plot, I think that's part of counterterrorism where you can stop this if you see someone that's importing all of this stuff. Like if you did that in the United States, like if you tried to import, gun parts, grenade parts, whatever, explosives, like I would assume that would get flagged somewhere. Like we spend too damn much in taxes and pay too much for the military for them not to at least notice that there's some suspicious shit going on. Like back to the 90s, like how did these Columbine kids get these guns and shit? Because it went right under their parents' noses, right? You know what I'm saying? But now since 2001, like we've developed these tactics. Like we notice like people are getting this shit in, and everything is flagged now.
Yeah, the shit that's flagged is the shit that they don't want to get through, but they're in on shit. Like this is the whole reason that these shadow gun runner corporations shit like that exists. Like I don't know if you've seen the movie. Yeah. There was a movie where they it's got Jonah Hill in it, and they were like gun runners for the government. Yeah. Like that's some real shit. That shit happens.
There's always a back door. Hey.
Yeah, but I'm saying, shit, I fucking lost my point now. What were we talking? What was the last thing I said? You guys remember?
Jeez.
I lost running on Australia having like no gun laws again.
Yes. Yeah, they had a mass shooting, and even in Canada, when they had a mass shooting last year, they already have a bunch of shit banned. This dude in Canada went from Providence to Providence shooting people with rifles. He went on a mass rampage, like driving hours between places, shooting people as he went along.
I think that is though more than just like the 1 in a million case that the news like to phrase. That's like 1 in a billion, like that. But like what Grizz is saying is like when you completely put a ban on it, yes, it's gonna go from 100% to like 1%. You know what I mean? But there's always gonna be that 1%. That's just society.
I mean, that's also true, but
the safest place in America still has a crime committed every year, right? So there's a percentage point put on the board.
Of course, but if we're talking about banning guns, you have to. My thing is, if a gun exists, you need to have a gun to defend yourself from a gun. Period.
Yes, and to what you said earlier, Jay, when it's a country or a nation, what a governmental system that's founded on we came here, we fought for it, we won this shit, we won it by guns. Why would we ever give those up? Like it just doesn't make sense in the American or United States DNA to ever lay down their weapons in any way, shape, or form because
they're gonna fucking try. They're gonna try to
what got us our freedom, and you can never take that away from like the American spirit. Like you really just can never strip that from anyone, even someone that maybe wasn't even born in the United States but moved here and has spent at least like 10 years. Like they understand, like, oh no, we can do what we want to do. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I mean, the one thing.
Go ahead, Corn.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, do you think there's anything wrong with that?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Now, good. What are you saying, Corn?
The one thing that I feel like we're missing in that 1%, because I don't know. So Dole, you might be right in terms of the 1%. I'm guessing you're saying the 1% that happens what in terms of drive-by shootings in America?
It's a
per
very
day
small
or
number,
whatever.
but hey, it's a number and it should be 0, but alas, it's not.
Okay, so what happened with I mean, so we're talking about gun related stuff. We can talk about road rage, which I'm sure there's a significant amount of people that don't have legal firearms in terms of road rage that commit those acts. School shootings, which have been running rampant ever since the COVID relaxations this year. We're starting to see a resurgence of those again. So I mean, I feel like we're still going to have those issues if we have that quote unquote 100% ban. Possible.
You know how many people died in that mass shooting in Australia? 4.
I don't think it was
how many.
4.
Yeah. Right, but they. I mean, what's the difference between that and the ones that they've taught here that 4 or 5 or 2 people get killed at? They just had one here 2 months ago that was
because
like
it'll be like 2 this week, and then 2 next week. It'll be like a total of 12 people a month, and not.
It's a simple one. When it happens, if 4 people got killed all year versus 4 people got killed this week, that's the difference between Australia and the United States.
There's way more people than 4 that die all year, bro.
No, trust and believe. I'm just making the quick example there.
No, yeah, but the point being is, if 4 people died once from a mass shooting in Australia, and 4 people died today from somebody shooting, and 4 people died tomorrow in America from shooting, like it's already double the amount of people killed in Australia.
And also think about like when the shooting happened at Virginia Tech. Imagine if that happened once a month.
That don't even happen once a month here.
No, but I'm saying imagine like if it was much more common in the fact that like the scale of it all is like if this
America's got 330 million people. How many people does Australia have? Probably not even half that.
Probably.
So we got to.
I have no idea. Honestly, I'd like to think at least a couple of million.
I ain't googling nothing else. I'm gonna get kicked out the stream again.
Ooh, pop quiz, everybody. I guess there's 10 million people in Australia. 10 million. That's my guess.
All right. Well, my country ass internet is looking this up right now. Let's see. 25 million people in Australia. 25
million. Nice.
So there's more people in like Cali almost than there is in Australia. Almost. So,
bro, almost Virginia.
Well, Virginia's got what, 8 or 10 million, something like that?
I don't even know, but a good chunk. Like we doing all right if we just stay in the tri-state area.
Right. So when you put the size of perspective, Australia is like 1/8 the size of the country.
That does make a huge difference.
A huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter what you do with the shit. Like, people are going to find a way to kill a motherfucker regardless of whatever law or whatever fucking ban you put on something. All it does at the end of the day is affect the people who are not doing that, to be honest. Because the people who are going to do that and people who do want to do that are going to find any way that they can possibly find to do it. Like,
and free spirit, yeah.
And the one thing is, you don't want to be in a fight with your hands tied behind your back. That's why I think that, yeah, it should. I'm not saying there's some ways they could, I guess, maybe relax the stuff, the laws, but at the same time, it's like, dude, my personal thought is that I feel like everybody should be able to have that right to arm themselves. Period. That's just the way I feel, because it's gonna give you that fighting chance when you're taking your kids to a mall to go see Santa Claus, and let's say somebody's thinking about doing something and they see you strapped, they might rethink it.
They might.
At least
and the U.S. just won every shooting event in the Olympics. So they can
no way.
I mean, of course, right? Shocker.
I think that just bought us another 5 years?
Maybe
4 years.
At least. Well, hey, in the Olympic scale, that's like 12 years. Shit.
Gordon, I know you seen that dude, Orange Cassidy or something like that, the wrestler that be wrestling with his hands in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
He said you don't want to go to a fight with your hands tied. I was like, man, that's bullshit. That boy be winning. That boy be winning.
Wait, he wrestled people with his hands in his pocket?
Yeah. Boy.
And win?
Yeah. So
boy, he a dog with his hands. Hey, he gotta be undefeated with his hands.
It's gotten ridiculous, man. But yeah.
Oh my god. He really got that.
I fuck with that nigga. That nigga hit his back. He do like a little kick up. He don't even use his hands to get up, bro. He just wrestle with no hands the whole time.
Yeah,
he just be shouldering motherfuckers.
I swear.
Hey, he probably got a YouTube page, reckless like Kimba Slice back in the day. R.I.P. man.
Kimba Slice is a bad dude, man.
Working, he got his hands in his pockets, man. I need to look this dude up. What's his name?
I think it's Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy.
Orange, man, he really wrestles people with his hands in his pockets. Boy, Corn, he might take you, bro. Nah, probably not. Let me backtrack.
Hey, shout out to Mikey. What's good, bro? He said,
Mikey, what up?
I haven't seen him. Well, not a minute. We've seen him like a few. Yeah, what up? Good to see you back, Mikey. He said the game done changed as Toronto opened up. Looks like New York pulled the Uno card. Ain't none of y'all seen any games party or get fly for patio season without that jab. That's the truth, bro. That's the sad truth. Yeah, they switched it up. Yeah. I don't even think Canada even doing that shit.
Yeah, that's how you know.
But to be fair, okay, what you saying?
My bad, but I'm just saying the niggas with the vaccine is the niggas getting everybody sick.
Right.
Hey, hold on. Maybe I'm super late to the party, but it just hit me. I was thinking, because I was gonna make the joke about like laminating my vaccination card, but it just hit me, bro. They left room on that vaccination card. If it was a 2-shot deal, why would it not just have 2 lines? They left room on that bitch.
They want you get 4 or 5 jabs. I ain't getting them.
They literally left room on that bitch. And that just fucked me up. Live, that just fucked me up.
But hey, look, the card's only temporary until they get the digital system in place anyway, which then will be integrated into the Internet of Things.
You mean till they can scan my left arm?
They're gonna do something similar, yeah.
And they're gonna be like, beep, right there it is.
Not me, cuz.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
the fingerprint or retinal scan or something like that. It's gonna have all your information with
What's crazy is I specifically remember, like, and like I'm not real religious, but I remember coming up through the church, and at some point somebody was like, these niggas is gonna ask you to put a barcode on your skin
in
or
your hand. They
Yeah,
told us
get something
that is a
tatted
very
on
religious
you
thing.
or
The enemy's gonna make you stand.
And then
for
they talked
themselves.
about the mark of the beast.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
the mark of the
nigga,
beast, they're gonna
Yep.
make you stand
Dude,
for
in
trust
themselves
me.
against the
I
enemy.
don't trust
Yeah.
none of that shit, bro. I'm not getting
Bro,
none
my
of that
mom,
shit.
bro,
You
my
kiss
mom
my
was
ass.
very specific.
Hey.
My mom was very specific about this kind of stuff, which is why I'm freaking the fuck out right now.
Boy,
What
we
about
gonna
you,
fuck around,
Dipper?
be gang set out here. Don't even know. You said dip 30.
I said, where my true dippers at? Y'all niggas don't dip no more.
You left the game, bro.
Man, I've been out the game.
Y'all niggas retired, but I'm a true MVP out here.
You hold it down for all of us, bro.
Dog, I'm retired. Wait, how long y'all retired? I'm out the game 3-4 years now.
Bro, me 7, bro.
7 years?
No,
Sheesh.
6.
Sheesh.
Oh, boy,
I can't
I've
go
been out the
6
game.
every day.
I've been out of the game 3-4 months.
I put one in right now if it wasn't for the distance. Man.
Nigga, I don't know whose can you getting from because you're not getting none of mine.
Hey, what? Hey, where Beef at? Let me get that pinch. That PP pinch.
I ain't seen that nigga since he moved in with Sierra.
He married now, right?
Yeah, I ain't getting no invite. I'm talking mad.
He said,
Oh man,
I ain't getting no invite.
Boy, let me get a pinch, Ice.
It's cold mint.
I don't care.
it's gotta be wintergreen, bro.
Hell no. Wintergreen
Nah,
is
mint
trash.
over wintergreen.
Yeah.
Boy, up here, can a dip cost shit $5, $6? They be like, yo, y'all tax.
Nigga, see, so back in the day, dip around here was like cheap. You get that shit like between $2 and $2.50 a can, and I was like, you know, if dip ever gets any higher, I ain't really gonna be trying to pay for that shit for $3-4 a can. Then I moved to Virginia Beach and $4 a can, and I was like, well, I guess I'll just get it because you know, cost of living.
That boy cost of living.
I moved back. Eventually, the price of dip in Stanton is now like $4. I'm still buying that shit, nigga. Like, I just wish I didn't.
That shit for real.
Oh. Shout out to Adam. He said Orange Cassie's even bigger than Call Week Kimba as well. Shout out to Adam. Mikey said again, got him, folks. Went from upgrading an iPhone ISO to that mRNA. They stick with the modern warfare tactics.
Oh man.
That's yeah. That's kind of
You gonna get into that, right?
What's that?
So you gonna get into that, right?
Yeah.
That iPhone shit.
We've been chilling tonight, man. It's like I said, it's we've been chilling. Yeah, let's get in that Apple shit though. Shall we?
Do it.
Good segue.
Let me know what happened with Apple.
Everybody's favorite privacy-centered phone carrier.
Yeah, this was the most interesting topic for me.
Yeah. Will scan your photos stored on iPhones and iCloud for child abuse imagery. And of course, in the US first, because why not?
Let me rephrase how I read that first sentence. Apple will now pre-Karen the Karen reports for you based on what you upload from your camera roll.
Basically, yeah. So what they plan to do, according to Financial Times, they plan to scan these photos stored on iPhones and iCloud for child abuse imagery, quote unquote. The system's called Neural Match. What does that sound like to you, Neuralink? You guys, are you people picking up on this yet? By the way,
subtle connections here.
We're getting. Has anybody seen the movie Minority Report? We're walking. We're in full stride towards that right now.
Oh, these niggas is tripping.
Yeah.
I'm about to get I'm getting a new phone.
Yeah. So this neural match shit will proactively alert a team of humans human reviewers if it believes illegal imagery is detected, which would then contact law enforcement if the material can be verified. So, so basically, this neural match, which was trained using 200,000 images from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So, if y'all don't know what this is AI. This is AI. This is a form of
looking for missing children on everyone's camera roll.
Yes, they'll look for missing children, and they're also basically, and they're basically going to look for those pictures and cross-referencing that with live database of known images of sexual abuse. So like their attempt is this AI, this machine learning that they're implementing is essentially going to not only learn based off of every single photo it analyzes, it's going to cross-reference that with a database of 200,000 images plus another entire database for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So essentially what's going to happen is it's just going to get good, and it's going to get powerful, and it's also going to make mistakes. So what's going to happen is
This is
like
bullshit.
the overlap. Like you can trick Face ID and things like that. You can trick those things. You know what I mean?
yeah, so you can trick them. Yeah,
I mean, here's my thing. I guess if you're not a piece of shit, you don't have nothing to worry about.
but that
On the flip side of that, that's like invasion of privacy. Also, I have a young daughter, and I have pictures of her, like, you know, in the bathtub, fucking running around the house naked. Like, I'm not sexually abusing my child, or I'm not being no weird pedo either. Like,
right.
I just have pictures and memories of my child that nobody else should be able to look at. First off, like, so if this comes through the database and the thing says, "Hey, I think this might be what we're looking for," that means a group of humans get to look at my private photo and decide whether or they think this is child abuse or not. When in turn, that's some creepy pedo shit right there.
Where I have the problem is, like I said, Face ID can be tricked and mistaken. Like, what happens if they mistake your child for someone that looks very, 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 very similar to your child? And now they got to do all this further investigation. So they're really looking in depth at the photos of your child that were never meant for this in the first place. And now it's making you even more uncomfortable because they're really looking at that now.
Right.
Yeah,
And you'll never know until you get that knock on your door from the feds.
Hey,
You'll never
that's
know,
wild.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
worried about something on your phone. Like, hello?
yeah.
That means I'm going to judge. I got way worse things on my phone. I've looked at way worse. Like, I just can't believe that shit, man. Like, that's just wild as fuck.
Yeah, this one seems over the top for me.
If the feds just randomly showed up at my door or some shit like that, I'm going to jail for the rest of my life because somebody gonna get murdered on spot.
Yep.
All right, you think I'm taking illicit pictures of my daughter? She's a newborn walking around for the first time. She don't have her diaper on, or like what have you? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's so simple like that you have to attorney up and you could lose your job over or something like that, or be put on some sort of list where you can
even worse, you could lose your kid.
So simple.
Mm-hmm.
You got to prove your innocence in this country. They say innocent until proven guilty. We all know that's false. If I got to go to court behind some shit like that, I got to prove that I'm innocent and doing nothing malicious to my own child.
Right.
And that, but this is all coming full circle for them though. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to separate the parents from the kids. That's why that when back I saw this back when this whole Trump shit started last year, when everybody was hating on Trump and everybody was saying, oh, if your Trump supporters are endangering, like that was a narrative for what, a week or so. I'm glad it only lasted a week. Like the narrative was that if your parents were Trump supporters, they were endangering you. You were in a dangerous environment.
Boy, that shit is still going on. It ain't
that was a narrative. And then now they're trying to say, parents that don't want to vaccinate their kids, and now they're saying that, oh, not enough kids are being vaccinated, and then now guess what happens? All this Delta variant comes out that's affecting what? Kids. And so now parents are being deemed harming their children if they don't give them the vaccine, and they will be separated from them. Then now we're talking about an iPhone, another avenue that's going to be used to separate parents from the kids. Like this, this is some real shit happening.
Yeah.
This is no longer a movie. Like this is real life. They're and we've seen the videos. I'm sure all four of us have seen at least one video in the past year and a half of feds knocking on someone's door on some bullshit, saying you're endangering your child for this, or you're endangering people for that.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's be in America or somewhere else, we've seen it. It's out there.
But where's the model coming from when it comes to this with AI and everything? It has to have a source. It has to have that human creation of what is right, what is wrong, and who's designing this. Is this? I really hate to jump into that topic, but could we make this racial and go into that? It's like who's designing what it looks right and what looks wrong? Like, could we really go there? Like, I really hate to do it, but if y'all ready, let's do it.
What do you mean? That's what this cast is, bro.
I mean, I love corn reaction right now.
Can I tell you something?
I'm done.
Can I tell you who the judges will be of what is right and what is wrong in terms of morals, not just on social media, but in your phone and the photos that you keep in your phone and all the information and all the files and shit you keep in your phone? You want to know who's going to be the judge of those?
I'd love to.
Fact checkers. Oh, it's going to be the fact checkers. Y'all think I'm playing though? It's good. They're going to say it. They're going to say fact checkers.
Of course.
Fact checkers are going to be the ones that do this, and it's going to be your peers. Guaranteed. They're going to come out with some nasty rollout. I'm telling you, all this TikTok shit is being done for a reason. Let me tell y'all something. I talked about this the other day too. The gas shortages. How long did that shit last? A week? How crazy were people acting? In a week?
It was just a test.
Everybody went back to normal.
It was just a test.
Yep. Just a test, just to see how fast everybody would just at the flip of a switch.
And here's the thing. I don't think there was actually a shortage. I think what they did was they actually, I'll take that back. I think that there was actually a shortage. I think that we made it worse. I think that it could have been a lot. It could have been over in 2 days if people had just not gone and tried to fill up every single thing they could fill up with gas.
It was a distribution hiccup.
Right, literally.
We know how logistics works. Logistics to me are super impressive. I'm blown away with how uniform and how they're on it. The whole logistics thing, it's impressive to me. But we know, just think of the chaos involved in the United States if everything was delayed by 1 minute, including trains, airplanes, you name it, time clocks, what have you. Just 1 minute, what would that completely shift the United States?
Fuck a lot of shit up.
So I mean, come on, man.
Just imagine. Think of this. Just imagine if the New York Stock Exchange's computers had a time drift by a minute,
or we're off by 0.1%. Oof.
Done for.
And so it's something so small, but when you react to it in that way, it becomes huge. So. With it being, and also, sorry, I submit yours, but when you have something that is flagged as false news, whatever, like this is needs further investigation. Like, isn't that AI that starts to scan for that stuff anyway? So who's programming that fact check point anyway? So like really diving into it.
It's your tech overlords. It's Google, it's Facebook, it's all the companies they buy that they'll do all the heavy research and the work, and then they get to put their name on it because they bought the company. Like it's them. They get to they create the technology and the shit to be able to do this shit. And then you combine them and how they work with governments and the powers that should not be, and they feed the information. I mean, that's the same way. It's the same way that they're going to do this is the same way that Google censors your search results based on your browser history. Like, it's the same type of, oh, well, we deem this like this because we've worked with these people and this is what they say they want. So we're going to block that from you because you seem to be this type of person. Like that, like it's just more of that shit. Like they even say here in the article, where's it at? Yeah, so they already check iCloud and every other major cloud provider. They already check for files against known child abuse imagery. But the thing that's fucked up about this in particular that it allows central access to the local storage of the phone. So like even if you don't post it on iCloud, they still scan it and they still monitor it. So now they've got local access to your phone's storage. So at that point, they've got your whole shit. They got that whole shit. At that point.
I'm coming. Anything that happens
Unlock.
on the phone, someone else sees it. So
I mean, yeah, that's true, but they don't necessarily have all the local storage access. Like you still have to grant it whether you're on an iPhone or an Android, but this bypasses that regardless. Because you can disconnect your phone from iCloud and shit, and the shit won't send, and it'll stay local on the phone. But you can grant apps and certain things permission to storage and whatever. But this is essentially a bug in your phone that you've granted full reign to, that you get granted full reign to.
And a lot of those things are on the I've read and agreed to the terms and conditions, and it's something you really do want, but there's no other way to bypass it other than to just click the box and keep it pushing.
Right. Or
and that gives, like you said, to Facebook, that gives access to anything you ever wanted on your phone, and then it's pretty much who's got the biggest check that they can write to Facebook, and if that really becomes like a political or what have you thing, then hey, you can write the biggest check. And usually politics can write the biggest check.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Because yeah. The way society's going at this point, man, especially with AI, man, I feel like they're doing it with humans right now with the Agent Smith bullshit. I mean, we just saw the other day where old girl got a dude thrown out of Starbucks on a date with a dude at Starbucks. Got him kicked out because he told her he wasn't vaccinated. Real shit. On a first date, real shit. That's an Agent Smith right there. Once we get to a point where we get 90% of people like that, I think that's when they're going to start rolling out the AI stuff very easily, very fast. And we're going to start seeing these robot policemen, because we're starting to see the police shortage too now, aren't we? We're starting to see people starting to leave that career field.
Yeah. Two things. I'm not convinced that in an age of TikTok and social media, like some of those Starbucks things might be a little bit staged, at least a little bit, at least having like a camera presence, what have you. I haven't seen the video. I'm not sure like the raw footage, what have you. But also with the police standpoint, who the hell would want to be a cop right now?
Right.
True.
But like, boy, let me sign up for a job I don't want to do, and that'd be a goddamn police officer right now, because I feel like everybody looking at me.
Yeah. But some people, just from having, just had to talk to some people are like, I think that just that little sliver of that law enforcement pride, you know what I'm saying, is still there with some people. But who've already been in service. But there's no new people. There's no young people that I can see that I've seen who are like, oh yeah, I still want to be a cop. I still want to.
Actually, my sister is.
Yeah, it is like that. Most people sign up to be a cop. They want to be like, I want to protect my community, protect and serve. Like I want to have that, fight the bad guy. But I feel like that died very recently into something totally else. I don't know
lot of it has
too, but it shifted from that.
The next generation coming up isn't going to want to be cops. I'm telling you guys, they're not going to want to be cops.
Oh, I already knew that.
The next generation coming up is not going to want to, and no matter which way they sway.
And something I didn't hear you.
I just said my sister is actively pursuing a job as a cop.
Oh wow,
nice.
How do you, if you don't mind me asking, how do you feel about that?
Nigga, what you mean? I need a man on the inside.
I mean, are you happy? I mean, are you happy? I'm asking. Like, did you sit down and talk with her, or are you happy? Or
how do you feel?
What she really wants to do. So, in order to do what she wants to do, she has to be a cop. But she wants to do like CSI and shit. Like, she wants to fucking see why people died and shit like that. But like, I mean, obviously, I understand that it's a dangerous ass job, especially right now. And like, I was kind of being serious. Like, nigga, I definitely need a man on the inside. Let me know if the niggas is coming this way. But like, I don't know. I never wanted to be a cop, and from my standpoint, I mean, it's always been fuck the police. I grew up on a whole bunch of that shit, like especially in music. So like,
You're
but I mean, whatever makes her happy. If that makes her happy, just like she wants to date women, like if that makes her happy, bro, then so be it. Like I'm all for it. Like I can't stand against it. Like people, my family especially was like, you need to stay in the factory. You make good money working in the factory, blah blah. And I'm like, nigga, this shit is depressing. I want to kill myself. So I was like, fuck it. I'm not working in the factory no more. I'm going back to the kitchen, the restaurant. I ended up getting a good ass job. You know what I'm saying? You know, I went back. I ended up getting a good job. I only took like a $4 pay cut, $4 or $5 pay cut. So like things just work out, and you just gotta do what you gotta do what you gotta do for you. Like at the end of the day. So
facts. No, I mean the only reason why I asked that is just because, like we were just talking about, the environment that we're in right now, it's very, I wouldn't even say like not just dangerous. It's you like it's 100%. You always got to be aware of your surroundings everywhere you go. That's why I asked the question. Like that's why I asked. I just wanted to know. Just want to kind of pick your brain. You know, like how you felt about your own sibling want to do it. You know what I mean?
no, yeah. I mean this area is like it's wild. I mean, it has its wild moments, and people are definitely smoking meth more these days and wilding out. But like this area to the rest of the world is more calm. So like it's not that bad out here. From Waynesboro to like Harrisonburg, it's really not that bad.
Yeah.
Bro, you know how like so when I moved up here, it was hard to explain to people. They're like, "Yo, you from?" They thought I was from the goddamn woods. You know what I'm saying?
To them, you are.
Like, to them we are. But I'm trying to say is like when I explained it to them, they're like, "Wait, that shit was going on." And I'm like, "Yeah, like we over here, but like people still do this shit. Like there's some real players in the game here, and like we're not, completely alien to this stuff. It might be on a lower scale or what have you, but people really do this."
Facts.
And so when you do find like a loved one or whatever that wants to take that route into law enforcement, especially in this day and age, this breath and everything that's happening, it's like you do. It's almost like signing up for the military. It's like you do understand the commitment that you're taking right now. I don't want to overstep there, Corn. Like, what do you feel about that?
No, you're right.
That really, like, taking that step.
That's why I'm like, man.
I mean, police and military,
because the military is a little different because you're strictly under contract. Like you can't.
They ain't breaking this, yeah.
But like, you got to be in it, man. Like but the military is also different too because people aren't walking around wanting to, you know what I mean? Depending where you're at, especially like in a city, like these big cities, like people aren't literally being reckless in terms of the way they talk to cops, being reckless in terms of their own lives when it comes to cops. Military is different. You're not having people doing that kind of stuff towards I mean, not your common person doing that to military. You know what I mean? It's not happening all the time as much as it is with, and I'm not saying it happens all the time with cops either, but I'm just saying as much as it does with cops. So it's a different perspective.
Do you think there's more freedom of speech in the more urbanized, populated areas with police, or more in the rural aspect? Like,
what do you mean in terms of freedom of speech?
Like, if someone in a more urbanized, populated area really ran their mouth to police, would they get treated differently than someone in a rural area that popped off the same way?
That just depends where it is. Like, that depends on the cop, and then it depends on what they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to say. I would just say in more like a general term, do you think like somewhere where crime's probably higher, I would think that certain things are more, people can look past them. I don't know though. Definitely situational.
I don't know, Jared.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Like, do you think if someone were to pop off in the police and just talk reckless in a more urbanized, populated area versus like a more rural state, would they be treated differently, or is it strictly situational, or is it just something like depends?
What you're saying, if they were to pop off at the police, like mouth at them?
If the same person in two different locations ran their mouth to the cop, like would they be treated differently based on location?
Depends on the color of their skin.
Heard that. But I'm talking the same person. The same person.
Oh well, okay. So
rural versus urban.
Like if I ran my mouth up here in the DC area versus if y'all ran y'all mouth down where we from.
I mean, it would depend on how far you go, I think, because
same person, same reaction, everything like that. Would they be treated different?
That's a tough one. I don't know, because
I'm trying to say yeah.
I'd like to think it'd probably be the same depending on the reaction, right? Like how far are they taking it? Like are they really tripping? Like you know what I mean? Like, but I would hope to say it'd be like a uniform reaction. Just not super confident on that.
Yeah, I mean, because it also depends on the situation too. Because if it's a in protest of something, they would react differently versus if you're just literally just on the street mouthing off at the cops as they drive by or roll by or whatever. Like,
right,
you're going to either like if you're protesting, they're going to stand there and look stupid while you mouth off at them versus if you're just like mouthing off at them while they're, I don't know, at a traffic stop arresting somebody or something like that. They're just going to call somebody else up and they're going to have them talk to you or detain you or get the they're probably going to have you have something happen to you because you're getting in their way. So I think it depends on the exact situation. I think that but I guess what I'm really getting at by saying that is that they would probably react the same because I think it depends on the situation, but I think that whether rural or urban police. Because again, well, actually, we gotta break that. We gotta go back because sheriffs and police are different things, and typically in rural areas you have sheriffs, you don't have police, and sheriffs are sort of the original. I won't say original police, but they're sheriffs. They have a different duty. Police are more like. The distinction is very weird, but police are more like the financial arm of the state, not necessarily state police, but they're more the financial protection arm of whatever city or whatever city or state we're talking about. Whereas the sheriffs,
like you're appointed by the state to protect that city or to protect and serve that city. But sheriffs are more local. It's you can. I mean, some of these movies and shows don't even lie. Like they literally tell you like the sheriff has a personal relationship with the motorcycle club of the town,
exactly.
or the sheriff has a personal relationship with this pawnbroker, downtown, that's doing illegal shit. Like they kind of, and I'm not saying they're all like, obviously, they're not all like handling drug deals and shit like that, but you know what I mean. They're that stronghold of the town. That's what it was originally made for.
Yeah, they interpret the shit. Yeah, they interpret the law differently as well.
Yeah.
If we really wanted to go that route, which that should be a different podcast, I think.
Probably, but yeah.
The origination of like the police force in the United States definitely has racial roots, and it's disturbing to say the least. Definitely something that people should look more into.
What do you mean?
Imagine original police force meant for like slave catching, where there's reward for that. So racial profiling has been a thing since the origination of the police force in the United States. You know what I mean? And to try and say that that's not a factor in things, we're just not looking into it the way we should.
Okay, I see.
That just describes the surface, but you know what I mean? Let's look at the Dred Scott case a little bit more in depth, that sort of thing.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Here's the thing. I don't mind making that a focus, but let's not make that all the focus when it comes to
not all of
fixing the system, because I think that's when we get too blinded by one issue instead of the bigger picture, and that's when shit gets passed. Then as soon as we turn around, it's like, oh shit, I didn't know that was illegal, and then damn, they got like half the fucking population right there. So right. I think if you're gonna focus on these issues, focus on all of them at a whole. I mean, as a whole, rather than focusing on just like, hey, everybody, let's jump over here when they say jump over here to race, and then leave all this shit unguarded, and then now bill passed. This is done now. That's done now. Then we come back from dealing with the race shit or doing stupid shit in terms of the race shit and saying we solved it, and then come back 2, 3, 6 months later and look at what they've done with the laws in America. So saying we got to take we gotta pay attention to the whole picture. We gotta,
you can be, you can lose focus by being too focused.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good way to put it. Damn, that's for damn sure. Any final words, guys, on the iPhone shit before we can close that out? I mean, that shit wow. That's all I can say. Really.
I just want to see how much farther this goes and how fast.
I'm
very
just
fast.
I'm just waiting to see what other phone companies are willing to participate in this and come up with their own system and implement their shit, and how long it takes for it to like become like a part of your internet browser and like on your game systems, because I mean this is just the start.
Right, I understand there's a lot of development in like Chinese cell phone companies and like web platforms and things, but a lot of them are restricted based on their governmental views and what have you and their practices. What about when eventually that shifts, if ever, probably, but if ever, like what if here in the United States you can have a Chinese cell phone provider? Like what does that look like?
Shit,
server's probably gonna be trash.
That's what I'm thinking.
But but picking on this Apple thing, when people are it's gathered in the cloud, it's all this information, but your cell phone provider is somewhere in China. Like, who's working together then? Or
in order for that to work,
by the way.
In order for that to work,
again, imagine if the two biggest platforms in the world, the Chinese and the FBI, are working together, whatever the Chinese version of the FBI is, are working together, and then they're using cell phone providers and towers and things to gather information.
Oh, they already do that.
But I'm saying, but in a larger scale, like in like more in your face aspect of like.
Oh, they already do it in China fully. They're on a social credit score in China already at this point. So that's already to the point where you can't even like if like you can't even like get pets if your social credit score is a certain level.
Jeez, are you serious?
Yeah.
Do you know if it's like by province or just like nationwide?
It's nationwide.
Sheesh.
Social credit score.
I did not know that.
And that's what they're drumming up here. This is all part of that. Like all that shit's going to be tied in together.
If that's like test scale, then let me just listen more.
Yeah, it's nasty out there in China, bro. Like they even have if you drive down the highway. So imagine driving down the interstate and you've got traffic cameras flashing, like taking flash photos of you every few thousand feet.
Right, they do that up here in like the Easy Pass, like the HOV lanes and things like that. But it's not like we're tracking you like that. It's more just making sure you're paying for what you're using.
Still like flying through a traffic payment thing is I see what you're saying.
That's one thing, but to just watch where you're going, that's totally different.
Yeah, they're on that shit in China.
Which Google does that anyway. If you go through your Google Maps, it tracks your every.
Oh yeah,
it literally tracks everywhere you've been for like it goes years past. Like it's crazy.
Location on, yeah.
Yeah, some of those suggestions, it's like, wait, come on now. I've only done that like twice, right? It's like, wait, how do you know that?
You can have a conversation with somebody that you haven't had a conversation with, and then whatever was talked about, you'll see recommended to you and shit.
I also recently learned that just like being around other people, for instance, like my girlfriend and I, obviously our phones are for the most part in close proximity with each other, and so some of her suggestions spill over to mine because we're most likely to share those with each other. Like, oh, look at this, like, did you see this? And it's like one more opportunity for her to see something because they suggest something she might like, and I want to show it to her. You know what I mean? Like, how sick is that? Sick is in like a bad way.
Yeah, okay.
You know, early 2000s, like that's sick, bro.
Yeah, nah, that should be crazy because like literally like y'all know
It has to happen for you, Isom. It has to happen.
Yeah, I stay on Facebook all the time. So like I could be talking about something. I can say I want some type of food or whatever. As soon as I jump on Facebook, 4 posts in that motherfucker, I didn't see an ad for shit I just talked about.
Yep, that's a fact.
And that shit, this shit's always listening, bro.
On both phones, like your phone and her phone, though. It'll have the same ad.
No, yeah. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, it always tells her like that I'm online. Like, it just like Isom share this, Isom share that, Isom share this. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy, bro. Like, we live together. She knows, nigga.
Tell me your shit.
Shit. I couldn't hide nothing if I wanted to. Like,
ever.
Ever.
Especially in this day and age, nigga, it's way too easy to get caught. Shoot.
Caught what? Was doing anything, period?
Doing dirt, nigga, yeah.
True, yeah. I made that statement. What was it 2 casts ago, Corn? We were talking about the relationships joint. I was like, because I wasn't on IG until we made the IG for the comrades. Like I never had an IG period until we made the one for the comrades. What I guess 8 months ago at that point. And I got on and I was like, holy fuck! I know why people have problems staying faithful now. I was like, God damn! I was like, bro, just and it's not even necessarily that you want to cheat on the people that you're looking at. It's just looking at all the ass and tits. It's just like
it's everywhere.
Like it just gets your fucking
explore page.
It's annoying, bro.
It just pops up. Never clicked on this shit, and it just show up somehow. Like damn.
Yeah.
It's just like if you put male as your sexual whatever the fuck whatever they call it nowadays. It's like look like literally you put male and go to explore page and it's a model. The first 5 posts it's an IG chick. Like guaranteed.
Or I swear it'd be like Fashion Nova and they show you a picture of a lady and then the caption say something like men's large t-shirts $5.99.
Right.
Something like that. Like wait, hold on, where is the men's large t-shirt?
Thanks.
How do we get this out of that? Yeah. But you're right, Ice, that shit annoying as fuck, bro. Like yeah.
That shit get old, bro.
It gets
Shit.
So and it serves multiple purposes because you feel like you know there's nothing to look forward to seeing anymore because it's like well now you can see nipples on Instagram, you can see these huge cartoon fake asses on Instagram. It's like what can anything in real life, you know what I'm saying, compared to make that, you know, to basically top that. Like that's the kind of shit that they try and like lead people towards. It's like this is the epitome of chicks. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case.
Yeah.
What about this subtle transition? What about it becoming social media and internet use is just strictly business now, and then it becomes like actually meeting someone in person becomes like that celebrity thing. Like we see like people meet TikTokers and they're like, oh my God, you changed my life. You know what I mean? But it's just like, you know, they're using their platform as a business, but like to really meet the person, that's the connection. So like what, you know, you see what I'm trying to tie together?
Yeah. Where we're so separated that coming together in person is like a show of stature.
And then when you meet them, you don't really know what to say. It's just like, I know you based on what I watched, but I don't really know anything about you. Like,
wow.
We at it, fam.
Yeah, we are.
We've been at it.
Yeah.
We've been there for years. I mean, you might have a girl. I don't know how long y'all been together. So y'all might have been there for a few years or whatever. But the game has changed.
Yeah, Corn was actually just talking about something similar.
The game has significantly changed. So yeah, we're already at that point, fam. People don't know how to. I mean, try going to a bar scene. Like it's.
Oh God! Right now, no,
it's bad, man. It's bad. People don't know how to socialize, man.
Like you're in the best place for that, and it's still a nightmare.
And I mean, granted, in some, I mean, there's some nights and there's some cases, obviously, where you can go into a bar and it's straight. Like people are pretty friendly. People are very what's the word? Conversational, right?
Yeah.
You know, but there's a lot of these 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 year olds. They
no
have
idea.
zero fucking social skills. And they're the ones because we're considered the old heads at this point, even though we're not even 10 years older than they are.
Right.
And
with them, though, if they
because
from you,
we found our footing. We're in these relationships and we know the way, so we can still kind of go out there and still find. So I'm not just talking about not even just like in terms of love, but in terms of relationships in general, like making friends, whether it's chicks or whatever. But like we still know how to talk to people. Our generation does, for the most part.
but
Some
what
not
if
so
they
much.
took your 18 and 19 year from you and we're just like, all right, figure it out. Like
No,
if they took
because
like just a year of you, it would make things a little bit more awkward.
no, because we and I'm not saying us
But we still
personally.
had
I'm
that,
I'm
like,
I'm saying our generation still had
communication.
that. Yeah, we grew up still. The generation coming up now, the
We didn't have
18,
cell
19,
phones
20 year
and
olds,
shit.
they're not fucking geared to have conversations with people.
Right.
Like because
yeah,
like,
I
at
think
my
the
job
cell phone is the
before,
great divide.
yeah, I mean because even like before I left restaurants, I was a manager at the last restaurant I was working at, and being
Really?
over these these 17, 18, 19 like they don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to
At
handle
all.
situations. Um, everything is super dramatic. I mean, like I get that that's your teenagers, but you're talking 20, 21, 22, and they're still acting that way. They're still acting like everything is catastrophic. Everything's set in stone. Like they're so scared. You there's people that I don't even raise my voice. I'm not the kind of person that raises my voice at people, but like I'll be like, all right, I got it, and they'll literally just break down, and I'm just like, bro,
Bro, that literally
this
happened
generation is
today at
like,
work.
yeah,
This
I
girl,
mean,
18, 19 years old, she kept messing up orders. She was having an off day. And then literally she just started crying, like breaking down, bawling her eyes out. And I'm like, bro,
You don't
it's
know how to
really
handle that. Like
not that
there's
serious.
no outlet.
Yeah.
and but like we see the tail end of it because we have to eventually in our workspaces work with these people. None of us are running around trying to date these 18, 19 year olds. None of us are running around trying to be friends with these 18, 19 year olds. We have to work with them.
Oh,
And running around here having to work with them, you have to deal with. We get the tail end. We get the result of what the shit show was in the first 18 years of their lives.
Oh, corn.
Where no social skills. They're being put in front of a TV, put in front of another electronic device. Um, parent, a single parent home probably, mom probably dating five. Like no, so many fucking factors into the generation now, the younger generation now coming up. Like yeah, back in the day, the stuff we had to deal with, like our generation had to deal with, was the single parent stuff. But now they're dealing on a whole nother level of brainwashing with the TV, programming, devices. You go to school now, what's being taught in school is crazy, crazy shit. So they have nowhere else to turn except to like they don't even have enough time to freak out. They don't. They have nowhere they can go to freak out. To say, oh man, I'm feeling overwhelmed. No, you're not overwhelmed. You're not overwhelmed. This is life. This is this. This is that. This is normalcy. This is that. So once they get to that age where they have to go out into the world, now we're starting to see the result. They're coming out into this world and they don't know who they are. They don't know how to react in normal situations. They think everybody's out to get them.
Corn, I have to add this question because I love that response.
Yeah.
I need to know your response on first the dating scene when it seems like people our age are being forced, if they're in an established career, someone our age, like it's tough to meet them at a bar, at a local community spot in general, because most things are being forced inside or online. Also with that, the people forced outwards in the community standpoint in these frontline jobs and what have you, essential jobs, as they call them, just working at like a grocery store or a basic server at a restaurant. It seems like you're getting stuck with the young, immature. They have no idea what the world is about. Like they're just kind of clueless, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're just clueless. They're just young and dumb, and it's okay. Like everyone's been there. We've all been there. Like that's
Yeah.
okay. And so when you're introduced, like you're stuck in a position where you're dealing with young and dumb, but you're also forced in a position where it's like I'm trying to grow and expand. Like I've been here, I've done that. Like this is just an annoyance and a speed bump, but now it's really putting a kink into my like career plans. What's your response on that, especially on like the dating scene and forcing things online?
All right. So let me make sure I have the actual question correct. So you're asking basically what's the the effects of the dating scene? Like what are the effects that you're seeing, that I'm seeing in the dating scene from
the
them trying
jobs
to
you're
force everything
forced to
inside?
see are being like forced online, so you never really meet these people. You never really have that interaction that you probably once could have had 2 years ago.
The biggest thing to me is the filter shit. And that's why I keep harping on the whole TikTok stuff, is because it started with, again, I hate to sound like an old head. I mean, you're just as old as we are.
I
But
think I'm the oldest one here, barely. But
yeah.
hey,
I mean,
I'm the
you're
oldest one here.
so I mean, you were still relatively, like in the same like age group. So obviously, so
I'm not even a year more than in Jaren, maybe a year more.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
you're
so-
just a month older than me, right? But anyway, go ahead. Sorry, Corn, go ahead.
but so I mean, what I'm saying is we all seen it though. Like growing up, we were exposed to the makeup era, right? It was just the makeup.
Yeah.
It was the chicks. The apple bottom jeans came out, and I think it was
Yeah,
like
the boots with the
middle.
fur.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we went through the eras and stuff, but it was just makeup. We didn't have to deal with the fake stuff. Now we still had what we like to, the term we like to call grenades and stuff like that, obviously. But we didn't have what there was no thing called catfish.
Implantation was very obvious too. It was very obvious. It wasn't like subtle plastic surgeries. It was like, big like breast reductions.
Yeah.
Additional
You had the Pam Andersons,
It was
the
big
Nicole Smiths,
changes,
and
not
Kim
subtle
Kardashian.
things.
Yeah.
No lip
But
covers.
but that's when it started though, right? We started seeing, once social media became more prevalent, that's when you started seeing people and the filters and the stuff. Obviously, we know where all that shit comes from. We know who's handing that shit down to us. We get it. But at the same time, it's just shocking to me that our human instinct our first human instinct wasn't like, yo, let's kind of take a step back a little bit and see if this is really okay. Changing your appearance through a screen, just to have fun, or just to change your appearance, and then try and make it your profile picture. And then, because you know what they say about liars, the more you tell a lie, the more you start to believe it. Well, the more you start
And
posting
the
all these
harder it is to
pictures
keep
of
up
who
with.
you not of who you aren't, of who you really are not, you're gonna start believing that. And like I said last week, is that it's gonna start bleeding into your personality. Your personality, your ego, your all this, all that, and then it's going to lead into. That's why you see so many porn stars and all these people committing suicide, because they don't know who they are, because you're being put in front of this device your whole life, where it's being told what your value is, and you don't know. When you put your fucking phone down, you don't know what your value is. You don't know your fucking worth. So now imagine being a 28-year-old black male trying to get into the dating scene post-COVID, or in the middle of a fucking pandemic, on top of what I just told you. That's what you get. You get a bunch of women that don't know who they are. And I'm not saying not at all, but most.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Did you experience more or less hardship in Florida versus Virginia, or relatively the same?
I haven't really done too much dating down here in Florida. Just to be honest, I've been here for almost 3 years. Most of the time it's so expensive to live here. You're just trying to fucking work, just working, bro.
You've been working,
working and going to school. So, that's pretty much. Look, man, when it comes to trying to keep people inside and trying to create this antisocial, what's the word for it, Jan? This antisocial agenda, I guess I could just say.
That, but yeah.
But you know when you're trying to
back in the day.
yeah, like when you're trying to create this antisocial agenda. I mean, I keep telling you guys, I will champion the one show I will champion all the time is Black Mirror.
Oh yeah,
because they've done it so right.
It's a good show.
Fam, they canceled the show because they were like, oh shit, we predicted too much of this shit.
That boy, we on to something here. Man.
So I mean, if you need to know what they're doing with the antisocial shit, that's what's happening. That's why it's so baffling me with the whole social credit score and all this other stuff, and then all this your worth through social media and shit like that. Because it's like, fam, we don't even know how to talk to each other when we put this shit down. How can we? So how can we act like we know this person? How can we support this person and do this, do that, whenever? Well, you don't even know if they even give it two shits about you. That's why I don't understand. I don't understand why people take some of this celebrity stuff to heart. This celebrity said this. This celebrity doesn't agree with that. It's like, fam, the person you sit here praising, the person you sit here praising 98% of the time probably doesn't even like you. If they got to know you, you probably wouldn't like them if you got to know them.
You really knew him, yeah. What do you, Isom? What do you, or Grizz? What do you and Darren think?
See, I haven't been. I haven't been in the dating scene for a while, and then on top of that, when I did the online dating shit, I never really fucked with Tinder like that because I was already kind of getting that type of
Vibes.
Like those type of vibes. You see what I'm saying? And then for a while when I was dating, I kind of just gave up online dating altogether. But this was pre-COVID, so you could still go out to a bar and like I was on this whole like last time I was like dating. I was still on like a whole like self-improvement thing, like trying to really figure out who I was and who and like as a man and what I wanted out of chicks. You know what I'm saying? And so like I was just going. I was a nigga to go to like a bar by myself all night and just chat up like no plan, no I wasn't going with nobody. I was going by myself, chatting people up, dudes, chicks.
You've been on self-improvement since I've known you, bro. You the most self-improvement focused oriented person I've ever met. I've never met somebody that wake up every day want to get better like you, bro.
I mean, I try, man. I mean,
ass, bro. I'm not gassing you. You literally every day want to get better, and I love you for that.
I love you too, bro. But yeah, I'm you saying that I feel like it's bullshit only because you know me, and I feel like I'm not doing that every day, even though externally,
but you
know, yeah, externally it's one of I don't know, man. I just but appreciate you, bro. But when I was doing that, like. I don't know. My experiences were different, really, honestly. And it kind of, I don't want to say they always have because I've had them same experiences that Corner's talking about and like kind of dealt with the same type of chick, I guess. But I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of my stuff has just been not necessarily that way. I've had, don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying I get every girl or you know, I've had, or every conversation has been perfect and like there was no problem with anything. That's not the case. The majority of them were fucked up. Don't get me wrong. But like but those specific instances, like talking about like just some of the lack of conversation shit, like I've had that happen, but to not necessarily to the point where I don't know, maybe what it is that I'm not attracted to chicks who are like that. So I don't even really, it doesn't like yeah, they might be fine or whatever, but like it doesn't. I don't know how to put it. I don't know how to put it, man. I really
doesn't translate.
It doesn't translate. Having to find a chick on social media that doesn't like social media, so you're like lumping ladies into categories who are connected to social media almost because they have to be. Oh, I just thought about that.
Wait, say that again.
Like, you don't want a lady that's connected to social media just like yourself. But to find each other nowadays, it's almost like you have to be on.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like fuck, fuck.
Oh, trust me, yeah. Yeah.
I think it's.
I think I'm the only single one on this podcast right now. So yeah.
It's too many. It's just too many expectations these days, especially from a man.
That's a fact. And then no respect for the expectations.
Yes.
Nigga, you gotta have a car, you gotta have a job, you gotta have a phone, like
and ready to pay for yourself and.
But I
yeah,
don't need you for
yes.
shit. You gotta have this, but I don't need you for shit.
Oh,
Remember that.
absolutely,
Right,
absolutely.
I already got mine. I don't need
That's
you,
delusion.
but I need you to be ready to pay for yourself, have everything your shit lined up, and be willing to pay for my shit off the rip. But I already got mine.
Yeah, and I don't need yours, but I want
Yeah,
yours.
I want
But I
you.
need yours, but I don't need yours.
What did she say? She was INDE. I'm just kidding.
She-
But,
simple letters out if you ask me, boy.
Oh man.
Like, don't let me try. It's just like I want everybody to like, yeah, bring it to the table, but let the expectations stay level.
All right. All right.
But
But
like, even I think social media has made it even worse. Nowadays, girls want like, you gotta be
Only a
in
little.
shape, you gotta be
6
cute, you gotta
figures.
be certain height. Like, it's just like, bro, get the fuck out of here. And then on top of that, like, why would I want to date a girl that has a social media status that more than likely is posting like ass and booty and titty pics
Right.
on Instagram, or she's got it. She either has an OnlyFans or had an OnlyFans prior. Like, I don't want to deal with that
Right.
shit. I don't want no bitches that have that.
Right.
I'm sorry, but like, I at the end of the day, get your bag. But like, I don't want you because you have that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. If you talk
This
about
shit-
something serious, forget about it.
The shit
Yeah.
that made me want to look away when we together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck
The
outta here.
same chicks with OnlyFans be mad when niggas catcall them in public and shit in person.
Fact.
And it's like, what planet do you live on?
All right, yeah.
but you can't tell them that because
Like,
then
dude.
they'll say that just because what's that quote they always say, like, just because I wear it or something, it doesn't mean I'm asking for it, stuff like that. It's just like they'll immediately jump straight to the extreme with you saying that, and that's why we can't say that nowadays. You can't say that, oh, you had OnlyFans and now you getting mad because people catcalling you when you walking down the street doing a TikTok.
My favorite thing is when like women with OnlyFans or porn stars or whatever have these Snapchats or whatever, these premiums or whatever they got, and they're like, don't fucking send me dick pics. And I'm like, bruh, like, what do you expect? What do you expect? Like, I like, don't send me unsolicited dick pics. Like, bitch, you out here posting shit like, oh, what would you do to me if you were in the same room? Or
Right.
do you want to put it in? Or like, bitch,
Well, here's
you
half my
definitely gonna get a
answer right
dick pic.
here.
Yeah,
This where I'm gonna start.
I mean,
They gotta forget. They forget, or because again, women don't know men and men don't know women. But we're very literal creatures. So if you say, "What am I gonna do to you?" I'm gonna show you what the fuck I'm gonna do to you.
Oh god,
Yeah.
dare I transition? What do we think about these trans athletes for the Olympics?
What, and how they did horribly?
Well, I'm just saying in general, like how for 20 years of your life you identified as a man, and for the last 2 you've identified as a woman, and now you compete as a women's sport and you win gold. Like, what does that do?
they need their own league.
That
I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to that, Itis.
That's just not fair.
Great.
of every woman and every feminist. If you ask me, if you're a feminist and you're okay with that, then you're not really a feminist.
You're not a real feminist.
I'm being honest. Like, because look, at the end of the day, like I don't know if y'all have seen like the beat downs that some of these trans athletes have put down on these chicks.
I mean,
Yeah, and especially in
women-
mixed martial arts.
women
Yeah. Like
dominate.
so when you put and again, there are women who support that, which is crazy to me. That's self-sabotage. But there's men who support a lot of self-sabotage too.
Hey,
Goes back to them not knowing who the fuck they are.
Again, if you don't know who you are, I guess if you're told that you're supposed to support that and them doing that. Here's my thing: either give them their own league, just like men and women have a league, or
No one will watch it.
Allow it.
I'm just saying. It's not going to get the ratings.
Nobody's gonna watch it, and they know that. So they what do? They basically turn themselves to women because again, there's not too many trans people that turn into men because nobody wants to be a man. Very, very few trans people transition into men because
unless you're Ellen Page.
Yeah, unless you're Ellen Page.
Adam Page.
Adam Page.
Oh man. The wrestling references tonight, man.
But anyways, back to what I was saying, like the men to woman transformation, no pun intended, is a lot greater of a ratio than the woman to man. So again, that to me that hurts women because biologically, if you were a man biologically and you take some pills and shit that don't alter your genes, you're still technically that other thing. I mean, if we're looking at it logically, right? If you're saying, okay, I've got a frog that was a male frog, and it's something like some of her hermaphrodites, whatever. If I've got a frog that was a male frog, and I gave him some shit so that he thinks he's not a male frog, but he still, you know what I'm saying, has all the biological makers of a male frog. Now he's a female frog in his mind. Now that hurts the women because if you're talking about things like, oh, who can who can leap the farthest to get the fucking bug, right? I've got a family of frogs outside my house. Guess what? When I come walking by, the female frog goes and hides. The male frog stands out there like, "What's up?" Like that's what he does. So if that frog all of a sudden thought it was a female, is he gonna run and hide too, even though he's the male frog? What if he can't? Then who's gonna protect the the nest? Because they got a baby too. So who's gonna protect that? Nobody, because they both run and hiding. So like, and if you want to put that in perspective of humans, now you've got essentially men dominating women's sports, and that's supposed to be progressive, and that's supposed to be a good thing.
But they can't call them in.
You can't call them in. That's progress.
Oh, you stepping on toes there, Jay.
I stepped on all the toes, but hey, that's what the podcast is for.
That was a statement. That was a statement.
You can drop the link, man. Like I said, if anybody want to, I'm saying,
you know where to find me. Link in the bio.
Hit us up on IG, you know what I'm saying?
Like, share, subscribe. Comment below. Holla.
Don't forget the merch.
Yeah. Don't forget the merch.
Hey.
I don't know, man. That's just how I see it. It's just, I don't know. Now, when we get to the point, which will happen, where they start altering genes like that, I don't know if they will ever get to that point. But if they ever got to the point where they can start altering genes to like physically make you a different sex, then you'll see a lot of that stuff probably go away. But then you also probably see a lot of like deformed people as well, because I'm sure a lot of that shit will go wrong. Because you start altering DNA, that's like the one code that we like just figured out how to crack, sort of. You know what I mean?
Did they do that within 100 years or no?
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
You think they can like clone people in 100 years from now?
They can clone people now.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, be good at
Gucci Mane clone.
They're good at it now.
Practice.
They've been cloning people for a long time. They were telling us they were cloning sheep in the 90s. They
did clone sheep in the 90s. That's why I've been like, I'm hip on the cloning thing. So I'm like, would it be like common practice?
Yes,
now,
like out in the open.
You could duplicate yourself or a loved one or what have you, whatever you have access to. I think with DNA replication, I think it's possible, especially in 100 years. The way science is moving.
Give that like 10 to 15 years. Then maybe 20 it'll be public.
I think a little bit longer. I would want to comfortably give it like 50.
That'd be nice.
Like 2070, I'd like to think you could probably clone yourself.
Here's the thing, though. They might they might only reserve that for them because again, we're just sheep. We're just the
Oh,
fucking.
you gotta pay for that shit. Fuck out of here, Jerry.
They
You think
already-
it's gonna be free?
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like they might not even be something that like us common folk would even have the opportunity, regardless. Like,
Oh no, I'm saying you gotta be Bezos to clone yourself. Like, but you can do it, and it will like freeze your shit, and like when you pass, like we'll bring you back. Yeah, you can have more kids, and like
well, maybe.
you. But what would that do to the population of like, you'd have like 5 strong families or some shit. Like imagine if it was like Bezos and then like Musk and then Queen of England and then like
they all suck.
Fucking Game of Thrones.
But yeah, what if it was like if the super rich could afford to like clone themselves and then it would just be a family of like the most rich people, break it down to like 10 people. What would that look like? That could
I would
happen.
like to think
That would be crazy.
That could happen though. Like seriously, thinking live, like that could happen.
so. Being able to clone, like to be able to clone you though is one thing, but to like transport your memories, your personality, your thoughts, your character into that clone is a whole different thing.
But like, I'm not worried about that. I'm strictly worried about like literally if you could just have like it would be like a continuation of like a tribe from England, the United States, Eastern, Western United States, and then like Eastern, Western, South America, Central America. Like it would just be like 10 big families because it'd be like the richest family from that area. And then they would just, of course they wouldn't, like some of your cousins don't act nothing like you, but they're still like your blood relative, like DNA relatives. So like what would that look like if it constantly expanded?
You would have a bunch of clones, but they will all be different people because you can't.
Would that like start to degenerate the next generation? Like, would people start to have to like inbreed in a way of some sort?
Oh, I think if those families are the tippy top of the power aspect, then more than likely, I would think they would like to keep their bloodline in house. It always happens throughout history. Like they always like, go inbred and fucking try to keep that shit in the family.
And for now, we have like the ability to interact with like common folks, if you will. Like if Bezos wanted to have a kid with an average person, like they could do that, and it would assimilate into the population. It wouldn't be like this, princess type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. That's getting deep.
Yeah. But yeah, the consciousness transfer and all that shit. I was going to say I would argue that these super rich folks would want to transfer their consciousness into a younger body.
Absolutely.
And not like replicate,
clone themselves. Yeah.
That's what they said. Christopher Reeves tried to do. They said Christopher Reeves basically was eating kids, like eating like babies and drinking on their blood and shit to try and walk again, and it didn't work. So that's when he was like, "Fuck it."
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, obviously that's a theory. That's not. You know what I mean? It's not like they were saying that on like CNN or Fox or anything. But it's a theory. It's a theory that Christopher, old Superman was drinking blood.
Research.
We showed the skincare products on here with fetal stem cells and shit in it in the skincare, and it's red. Yeah, we showed that on here. So like again, that's just like that's the introductory phase. Is like, oh, it helps with anti-aging and this and that, and then next thing you know, you get what Corn sent me, where it's like researchers are studying aborted black babies for things like this, for certain things, and then that's the next phase, and then you get into straight up. Now we're just fucking. Now what we're going to do is I forgot one phase, which was Lil Nasty X putting human blood in the shoe and people selling out in like 2 seconds. That's another phase of it. That's the reaction from the phase. It's like, okay, that worked. So now we'll do this one, and then we'll see how that works. Okay, that worked too. All right, then they'll just like keep rolling more and more shit out. That's how they unveil what the fuck they do. It's like they say, all right, let's drop a crumb. We'll say, all right, fucking here's a skincare product with fetal with stem cells in it from fetuses. Beep. And let's put it on the Steve Harvey show. Beep. All right, cool. They're promoting on Steve Harvey show. Steve Harvey makes a joke about it. Oh, blood! I ain't touching that shit. Ha ha ha. He. Right. Next one. Little nasty X. Sell some pieces of human blood in it. Go. All right. Oh, they sold out super quick. Okay, good. That worked. That first thing worked. What's the next one? Drop a news article that says that scientists have been taking aborted black babies and studying them and running tests on them. Go. How's that react? What's the next thing gonna be? We'll find out. And then what's the ultimate goal? To tell you that well, I can't say that on YouTube. Y'all got to subscribe to Patreon for that, because that will definitely get us kicked off this motherfucker. but y'all, you go ahead and keep rolling that. Keep rolling that through. You'll figure it out eventually. You'll figure that one out eventually. But that's what they do. That's the rollout. It's crumb reaction. Oh, we've got they didn't like that. Okay, we got something for that too. Let's drop this instead. Crumb reaction, and then the whole time, mind you, the reaction is exactly what they wanted anyway, because they already know how you're going to react. They just do it to get the energy, and then once they got the energy, they use the energy for what the fuck they're going to do with it.
They need that stamp of
that's
approval.
The whole thing. Exactly. And then it keeps going.
Facts.
That's the time-tested experiment right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And it works. They still do it all the time. It's like it's so blatant to me now. Like they're just doing it blatantly and shit now.
Who's gonna bite today?
Right.
Who's gonna bite tomorrow?
True shit, bruh. Yo, we've been on here for damn near 3 hours. It's been a minute since we did a cast like this, bro. What do you think, Corbin? It's been what? A hot minute.
I think the last time Dole was on, we did a 3-hour cast.
Oh, it's your fault, bro. No, it's fucking right.
No, it is me. You know how I get. I like to talk, man. I like to talk.
That was the election one, right?
That one was heavy though.
We got in some good conversation back in that one.
There was a lot going on. Then I would like to think, things got a little bit shorter and sweeter and to the point, but we still kind of looking like it was.
Yeah.
What is that? 6 months ago?
Yeah.
8 months ago?
Longer than that. That was what, November last year?
8 months ago. Or the election, 10 months ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy. And to think that everything's just gotten worse. I'm like, shit, bro.
Where do we go from here?
It's at a certain... Where do we go now?
To the end of the world, my friend.
Yeah.
If we wrapping up, though, I need Isom. I need you to plug that SoundCloud link.
Yeah, go ahead and plug that SoundCloud,
bro.
Where can we find Grizzly Adams? Where can we find him?
At Grizzly_Adams on SoundCloud or at New Wave on SoundCloud. Go follow both of those.
Yeah, definitely. Do yourself a favor.
Yes, sir.
If you even like music, period, just go follow because you like that shit.
Give it a listen. You won't be mad. Any other shout outs we need?
Oh, yeah.
I'll just say Dole look like the somebody they would cast to play a Mexican in a Netflix show.
Oh,
Hey, be on the lookout. I'm Hector in your next Netflix special.
Hector on Narcos.
I'm dead. They look like Daniel Radcliffe went in Hideout for like 3 years.
Boy, he said, "Boy, these glasses was fake. I don't need none of y'all hoe asses."
Y'all stupid.
I do want to say, go over to Half-Ass Pod, hit that like, subscribe, all that cool shit. I got the Suicide Squad review coming up later this weekend, so be on the lookout for that as well.
Ooh, how was that, Corn? I want to.
That shit was fire. That shit was fire. I'm gonna go see it again.
That shit was trash.
Oh,
Isom, I know you lying, bro. So don't even start.
Isom is the biggest.
Don't even.
Actually, nah, like for real, it was a good movie, but I got some issues with it.
That's understandable. You can't say that was trash. Come on.
No, it wasn't trash. It wasn't trash. It was actually pretty good.
On the superhero movies.
It was actually pretty good.
Well, that's good to hear because I watched Corn posted a little like right after the watch joint, and I was like, oh, like this nigga hype, so I already know he liked it. Yeah. Well, hell yeah. Well, shit, Doe, you got anything you want to plug, bro?
Nothing to plug, really. Always my homies. Any way I can share, subscribe, promote, what have you. Let me know. Always enjoy the podcast and everything. I tune in, even when I'm not live with y'all. I tune in. So,
well, that's good to know. That's good.
Yeah, we appreciate the love, man.
For sure. Man. For sure. A lot of our listeners are in the clouds, man. So I understand. I feel like
when this dies down, we're gonna do one of these in person and blow them away.
Yeah,
we all on the same screen.
So we're gonna have to
one of these days.
Facts.
Yeah, because Corn and I, we got a cast we got to do in person. And
oh yeah, the nigga cast. Oh shit,
do that nigga cast.
Oh Lord.
Hey yo, what in the world?
Yeah,
all right, Lord.
Y'all see. Y'all see. That's gonna be a rough one for a lot of folks. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a rough one for a lot of folks. We probably actually. I don't even think you think we're gonna even do it live, or we probably going to record.
No. What we should do is we'll talk about it after this. But what we should do is do it live and then have people tune in for live and then just put it on Patreon after we finish.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be a Patreon joint because that joint's gonna be ruthless.
You're gonna excite some folks.
Yeah, we're gonna excite some folks. Yeah, that's definitely what's gonna happen. But shit, and as far as my plugs go, you already know. Check out the comrades, man. That's it. Like, subscribe, get the merch, whatever. Do whatever you gotta do.
Everybody do y'all part and always keep it TLP. You know, hold it down.
For sure. And shit, anybody got anything final they want to say before we get the fuck up out of here, man?
Nah, man. Nope. Appreciate y'all having me on. Watch me get kicked in and out this motherfucker a couple times, but
hey, much love, respect, love y'all always, man. Love linking up with y'all, man. Appreciate it.
Always, man.
Absolutely, man. We love having y'all on here, man. Y'all already know.
And for those that are watching that don't know, we all long time homies, man. We all been through
long
some shit.
time, forever.
So you know what I'm saying.
Facts.
It's all love around here.
Way back.
Yeah. Way back. The way back machine.
All right, y'all. Until next time, man. Be easy.
Hell yeah. We're gonna close it out with a little music and then you know what I'm saying. Who's still in here watching, I guess we got more people watching now than we had a little bit ago. So we're closing the shot. We're closing up shop, but you can hit that rewind because we ain't taking the video down. You feel me? But
TLP, TMC. Yeah, let's do it.
You already know. Let's get some music going.
Hey, about to stick around or y'all everybody getting off?
Oh shit! I'm just gonna vibe out. I'm gonna close out a little music real quick and then you already know we on chat and shit. The show.
You should have played the beat. Let me freestyle that bitch.
It ain't too late.
Play that new Grizzly. Play that new Grizzly.
You trying to freestyle real quick, bro?
Man, what it is? I don't care.
Oh shit!
Throw a beat.
Oh snap!
Oh shit!
Oh man, hold on. Let me.
Look, y'all hear to hear first on the comrades, motherfucker.
30 seconds. 30 seconds free.
Y'all can hear me. Good without the headphones.
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all know.
16, real quick.
This probably gonna be the first clip to go
count
up.
Bars.
I know.
Hey, Cor, what was you saying?
We gotta tell you to stop. Usually, we gotta tell you to stop.
Yeah, fact.
I'm dead.
All right, what kind of beat you?
Man, play anything. Play a Griselda type beat.
Oh, yeah, play that Conway beat.
Okay. Fuck. I got you. Hold on.
You ain't know you spell Conway, Griz.
Hey. Oh shit, I ain't freestyling in a minute. I don't know if I still got it.
You just close me. Quick little 30 seconds.
Let's go. Okay. How that nigga Wiz used to do it. Okay.
Okay. Just the easy way. Okay.
That nigga Wiz ain't been the same since he stopped doing that shit.
Hey, Ice, we got more people in here now than we did earlier, so ain't no backing out now, fam.
Yeah, you already know what it is, bro. Grizzly New Wave. Go follow me, bro. I'm out here.
Hey, follow like at Grizzly Adams, at Grizzly _Adams.
Ivory out now. Go listen to that.
Yeah, listen to that Ivory.
Hey, Adams with an S, Adams with a Z.
Adams with a dollar sign, my nigga. What you mean?
Hey, just in case.
That whole thing wrong,
yeah, like
you know, I'm about my bread.
You're
my bad, yo. My internet is tripping.
Yeah, I feel that. I've been sitting in the car the whole time.
I'm getting there. Damn, this shit. So, what y'all got to do tomorrow, man?
I gotta work.
I feel that same.
On the weekends, I always go to my favorite little spot in town. They got the best ramen, homemade broth, all that shit.
Oh, word.
Side of rice, man. They got the best.
Oh, damn.
Every weekend I go there and get that.
Oh, word.
God damn.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Shit, I got to be up for work in 6 hours. That's what I'm doing tomorrow.
I do too.
Sound like you sleeping in.
Hell no.
Sound like you got the virus to me, fam.
It's all good, bro.
What you say?
I said if he got to jump off, it's all good.
Oh no, I'm straight. I'm just eating right now.
Yeah.
Oh, bet.
So we be on here fucking around sometimes.
It sounds like you got the virus to me, bro. Go ahead, take your 14 days, collect unemployment.
Hey, Jaren Wi-Fi like waiting on Trev.
Probably do. I'm holding up the cast and shit. Like, niggas gonna be watching the replay skip. Like, just get to the goddamn.
Like, boy, ain't got the beat yet.
I can't. There's one beat I'm thinking of, but I can't fucking find the song.
They better be 3 hours in. Talking about, hey, you still got that, fam? you still need.
Oh shit, that's funny as fuck. All right, hold on.
Where Dean at?
I got it.
Fuck that nigga. I'll say that shit publicly.
All right.
Uh-oh.
It's like uploading beat.
All right, I think this will work.
Jerry, what the fuck you want?
Oh damn! All right, here we go. All right, you ready, Isom?
Yeah.
I mean, let me know if you fuck with this or not. I'll find something else if not. Yes, this is a Griselda beat.
They say Grizz the greatest. Ain't no debate. I lace my sneakers and punch you in your faces. I'm a fucking racist. White lives matters, nigga. I stick your teeth out like I'm a dentist. Kids next door don't want to rent it. I'm a fucking tenant. Nigga, this is different. The way I sit in my position, I leave you missing. Nigga, this is me just kidding. I'm just laid back in this position and I'm still ill with it. But nigga, Ivory out now. You should go check it out.
Okay.
Effortless.
Y'all heard it first.
Effortless.
Y'all heard
this
it
beat is dumb hard, actually.
What do you say?
That beat hard.
That beat goes hard. It is.
Give my man's the correct setup.
Yeah.
Watch what he can
Give him the mic. It's over with.
My man's off iPhone headphones right now.
Yeah.
I ain't even got him plugged in. My shit charging.
Exactly. Give my man the equipment he needs. Give my man the equipment he needs.
Oh, well, shit, y'all heard it first.
We just hit that 3 hour mark.
Yeah, we hit that 3-hour mark, so you already know. Actually, we're 2 hours, 59 minutes, and 12 seconds. So you know what? We're gonna finish this song out and get the rest of that 3 minutes or 3 hours. And then we gotta end it on 3 hours. Unless I be trying to freestyle somewhere.
Nah.
Gotta charge you for anything more.
Shit, folks, that's gonna be it. We'll get there when we get there. We'll holler at y'all later. Piece of chicken grease. All that good